Welcome, everyone, to the Four Post Massacre podcast. I am, of course, your host. Simply call me Zaya. With me, I have, as always, my colorful co-host. He is none other than the pot father himself, Mr. Adam Jackpot.
I sat through a whole show, and Zahaya didn't, and I'm the co-host.
I can't believe you sent me that whole show. I fucking said I'm out after the fucking Sami and Owens match. You watched the whole thing.
There was a point in the main event. I'll introduce our guest first.
Alright, well, we'll get to that in a moment. But with us, we have another special guest with us here tonight. He is, of course, the one and only owner of Bizarro ICCW. This is Mr. CJ Velvet.
Whoa! Thank you for having me. I did not
Canada.
watch the pay-per-view. Thank
would.
God. So, fuck that shit.
It should be noted that, to the shock of almost every single person he's met so far, that CJ is a legit shoot Canadian.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
We've been told throughout these years, we've been conditioned to believe that Canada was a giant work.
Just like the Hart family.
So how
We are a shoot. We are real.
what's it like being Canadian?
Cold. Not right now. It's really hot, but cold.
Dude, I would...
So it's like, is
In
Bret
hockey.
Hart your Jesus?
I would say, if you're looking at the screw job in '97, yeah. Now, no. Now it's. I don't even think. I think we're just kind of clinging on the edge
you hear
right
that
now.
Bret Hart likes black
You
women.
have William Shat.
Bret Hart likes black women. So
You
respect to
have
Black
William. He likes black women, and he likes getting his toes licked by bears.
Hart. Why knew you were gonna bring this up? What the hell does that mean? What do you mean he likes getting his toes
Oh
licked
yeah,
by
so I
bears?
guess before we start, this week I didn't watch it, but I heard from a friend. The A&E aired the last of their WWE documentaries, which I'll before I even say it, did any of you guys check any of these out?
I don't have cable, so no.
I don't have A&E on my cable, so no, but I would have.
I checked out one of them, and it was the Piper one, and it was okay for what it was, but a lot of mixed reviews from these A&E documentaries, mainly due to the fact that it was a different director and, like, production team on each one of the different wrestlers, so, like, you were getting a completely different vibe. Like, the Bret Hart one apparently had, like, animation bits in it.
I heard
Well,
that.
like,
I've heard from
yeah.
other people that the Bret Hart one was the best one they've done, though.
Yeah, I hear the Brett and the Sean and the Austin one are seeming to be like the critically acclaimed. Like, these are really, really good. Everything else kind of falls into this is really, really bad, or meh, like stuff we already knew. We don't need more on.
Right.
You didn't know about the bare feet thing? Did you
I
not
don't-
read his book?
No, I don't like Bret Hart. So
What?
He also doesn't like Tanahashi. He doesn't like good
I
wrestlers.
don't like Tanahashi. No.
In general, like
Bret Hart. We lost. Never mind. I'm not gonna say
he
that.
doesn't like wrestlers.
We're not going to review a fucking pay-per-view. Get into it. Why don't you like Bret Hart?
I just think Bret Hart is extremely overrated, and also I don't care for his style of wrestling at all.
That's true. He
A
really
ground-based
doesn't.
style that we don't see anymore. It's fucking, like...
Yeah,
Does
no,
he,
he hates
listen.
it.
But I'm going to tell you right now. Does Bret Hart do a 450? No. Does Bret Hart use a light tube? No. Does Bret Hart a woman? No. Is Bret Hart a fat guy who can do really cool shit? No. Does Bret Hart do comedy wrestling? No. So then all the boxes completely not checked off for me.
God. Oh my god. Sahai, what the fuck did you bring me into?
I love Owen Hart though.
Oh my
This
fuck.
is exactly
I
why.
love Owen.
This is why.
I
Yeah,
love
you like
Owen.
Owen because he's the blue blazer, probably.
I
and
know,
wants you
I
to break
love
your belt.
Owen because Owen had charisma and in-ring style, and he could do flippy cool shit, and was innovative, and could have been so much more, was way better on the mic than his shitty-ass brother.
Brett
Where's
was such
Bru-
a great
where's Bruce
storyteller,
Hart?
though, in the ring.
Hashtag justice for Bruce Hart.
This is why I have Adam on.
Have you read his book?
I need someone.
Read.
I need someone as my complete polar opposite when I'm doing these things, so I can get a different perspective from people who are dumb.
But
You're
to
not-
go
you're
back
not-
to the
I guess-
to the original statement, yes, in the documentary, Bret Hart talked about how the Hart family dungeon had a trained wrestling bear that they would keep under their floorboards, and Bret Hart would cover his feet when he was a little kid in melted fudge popsicle sticks, and have the bear lick his feet to make them clean.
Kinky.
You didn't read this. You didn't see the documentary, I should say, right?
No, I have not.
Yeah.
I know about
I've read
that
Brett's
part.
book.
Yeah.
I've read Brett's book, so I didn't see the documentary, but
Well,
Brett's
I mean,
book,
they must have taught it to you in school.
You're
no,
such a prick.
there's a lot they didn't teach us.
That's
I
fair.
taught myself.
Yeah, it's about
but
America too.
No, the bear didn't live with them, but when it was in town, it would stay under their porch.
Oh, okay.
And there was a story that he told where then he went to, it was like a kid show, and there's like, we're bringing out a bear, and then the bear came out, and Brett's like, that's the bear that licks my feet, and they're like, shut up, kid, and then that was like the end of the story.
Yeah, well, apparently he himself talks about his feet getting licked by a bear. Explicitly a line that I remember my friend telling me, saying that when he would come inside and his feet were really dirty, and his mom would be like, "Oh, go take a wash," and he'd leave. The bear would clean his feet. He'd come back in, and his mom would be like, "Oh, wow, you have such clean feet. Must have took a nice bath." And Brett said, as himself in present time, in like the little interview point, "Yeah, I took a bear bath."
Good line.
I'd take
So-
a bear bath.
So yeah,
If you haven't read Bret Hart's book,
Bret
you gotta
Hart.
read Bret Hart's book. It's so
Or-
fucking good.
I bet it's probably just as boring as himself. But anyway, we have a
No,
show.
Jesus Christ, that's the topic I want to pick now. Fuck the other one.
Well, unfortunately, we have to go through this topic for the views. So let's get into Hell in a Cell, or more certain, or in other words, let's talk about why the show is so fucking boring to sit through.
It's that
Fuck.
the pre-show.
What the fuck? Here's the thing. In terms of in-ring, in terms of just wrestling, this show is absolutely fine. It was a fine show if you're just looking at the wrestling side of it.
Until the endings to like half the matches.
We got some pretty good matches here and there. You know, Cesaro, Seth, you know.
Well, honestly, I think I had, out of all the matches, I had the hardest time getting into that one.
Wow, really?
Listen, they're great together, but unlike, look at Sammy and Kev, who have wrestled forever, but even that match last night, or 2 nights ago, whatever the hell, that match that they had continues to prove that even though they fight like every time, they always bring something new to the table. There was a lot of really cool stuff that Sammy and Kevin did that I haven't seen them do before, and that match was great. But the Seth and Cesaro match kind of just felt like the same match they had on SmackDown a few weeks ago. The same match they had at WrestleMania a few months ago. They're not doing anything different, and the worst part is Cesaro's already beaten him twice, and then Seth wins with a fucking roll-up, which will be the story of the night.
You're getting ahead of yourself, bro. I'm gonna need you to take 10 steps back and take a drink.
He's the one
of
that
water.
watched the fucking pay-per-view. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I did my job. I sat through it. You were like, halfway through, I'm checking out. I could have done the same. I mean, I did for a few of these matches, but I got to a point in the main event, where I had a friend who was like, I need to watch the end of this NBA basketball game. And I said, okay, sure. And I put the wrestling on my computer, and I gave him the TV for the last 5 minutes, and I caught myself watching basketball more than the goddamn wrestling show. And I don't know anything about basketball.
It's playoffs though, so it's like this is the time.
So
I don't know anything. I saw them do the shoots of the baskets, and the time was running out, and I'm like, wow, this is way more entertaining than Drew and Bobby, which, well, looked fine and all. But I mean, then there's the hand.
Ball in hoop before 24 seconds. That's all you gotta know.
So we start off the show with Bianca Belair taking on Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
This match was good.
I actually watched this match. I really liked it. A lot of people pointed out, though, this did not need to be inside of a Hell in a Cell.
It wasn't supposed to be.
This literally could have been a no disqualification match. This would have worked just as fine.
It wasn't supposed to be. There's the situation. I want you to understand, in the last few days of what has gone on with this company and the two goddamn cable companies that are trying to vie for their love. Fox is like, oh, we need ratings. All right, let's do a Hell in a Cell. All right, let's do Roman and Ray. But wait, that's for the pay-per-view. Uh-oh. What do we do now? Apparently, 3 hours before SmackDown goes live, they're all in a goddamn room making this meeting together, and they come up with 3 ideas. All right, either we stick with Roman and Ray, or how about we do Sammy and Kevin in a Hell in a Cell on SmackDown? Then that got changed to, no, let's do a Hell in a Cell between Sammy and Kevin at Hell in a Cell and keep Roman and Ray. Then they were like, nah, we need at least one women's match in Hell in a Cell. So let's not have Sammy and Kevin in Hell in a Cell. Let's do Bianca and Bayley for some reason. Also, let's still do Ray and Roman on SmackDown and not at the pay-per-view. And so here's Sammy and Kevin in a random singles match with no stipulation or any kind of, any form of stakes.
So what I'm hearing is...
Oh, and then USA gets pissed off, and so they say, well, what about us? And then we get random Bobby and...
Whoa, buddy. That's on this week's Raw, alright? We only cover the stuff that's on last week's episodes of our favorite wrestling shows, like Raw, and SmackDown, and NXT, and 205 Live, and Main Event, and...
NXT UK.
And NXT UK. See? CJ gets it.
Yeah.
I hate it here.
So...
You said Bret, you don't like Bret Hart. Like, you're in your hole.
I like this...
Anyways.
I like this
I'd rather
match
be in a hole.
because, like, Bianca just used her hair a lot. And they
I liked the hair stuff. I also think the hair stuff should have been saved for live crowd.
She did. She placed fucking Bayley. She placed a ladder on Bayley at one point. It looked like she was going to go for that 450. I was almost so excited, and then she tried to go for a foot stomp, and I felt myself die. She followed up with a nice, sick-looking senton, though. So
there were a few really good spots in this match. I really liked the callback to Bayley's little kendo stick bridge that she tried to do last year with Sasha, and how that came back to bite her in the ass with a really nice spine buster on the outside by Bianca. I thought that was really cool. The ending I thought was really badass. The KOD onto the ladder, I thought that was really good. What now?
I got reminded of fucking Pat McAfee did the match.
Oh, Pat McAfee and Michael Cole on a whole nother level. They're very good together, and especially in a match like this, I'm gonna be upset when the Thunderdome goes away for one reason, and that's Bayley and Michael Cole.
Cole, did you see it? She bit her. Cole, I've never seen anything like it. She bit. No, Adam, you don't understand. She got bit. Adam, don't you understand? She got bit.
I just hope that she keeps this going even when the fans come back, because I know she won't be able to hear Michael Cole as loud as usual, but I hope she still goes to the outside and, like, berates him, and or is like, hey, Pat, tell me what Michael's telling you. Tell me. Like, just keep it going, because it's very good. It adds to her character. Bayley, in many regards, is one of the highlights, MVPs of this pandemic Thunderdome era. She's just skyrocketed. It's just a damn shame that this pay-per-view peaked with the opening.
Yeah.
And never peaked again.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. The main event sort of seemed like it was peaking until the finish.
Which, oh boy, isn't that a topic for the rest of the show. But, yeah, it's like Adam said, fucking Bayley took a goddamn psycho driver on a ladder.
That was really awesome. I really liked that.
That was great. So fucking unexpected. Like, props to Bayley for taking that. And props to...
Well, it's one of the things I liked about it the most was that it was unexpected. You know, most times in WWE, especially WWE, like, shit is so planned out. Oh, hits my finisher, you kick out. Oh, I hit my finisher, you kicked out. It was nice to just be like, one and done, on the ladder, let's move on, done. Like, cement it, no more. Like, if she would have kicked out, like, that spot would have been ruined. Perfect ending. The only good match on the... Well, not the only good match, but the best match on the show.
After that, we get Cesaro versus Seth Rollins.
I was bored.
I thought this was pretty much their WrestleMania. I thought this was their WrestleMania match, but it seemed slower.
When did that get booked?
What?
The SmackDown on SmackDown.
I
Before SmackDown,
think
Hell in a
so.
Cell.
Yes,
There
before
were
SmackDown.
4 matches booked.
Before Friday, there were 4 matches, and then there were 3. Well, technically, before SmackDown, there were 3 matches booked because one of them got booked for the main event of SmackDown. And then all of a sudden, here's Sammy and Kevin, here's Seth and Cesaro again, even though Cesaro has beaten Seth twice now. So why does Seth need a victory? And it's a roll-up.
I didn't
Why
know
did
this
you
match
make me
happened.
sit through this? This match was boring. See, you know what infuriates me more is that I would love a really, really bad pay-per-view where I can come on here and just get funny and shit on it. But the thing that I hate the most is watching a pay-per-view that is boring and nothing happens, because that's infuriating.
They had some good spots in here. Like,
I can't remember anything that happened in this match except for the fucking small package.
Fucking Seth tried to do his flip thing and almost got turned into a fucking neutralizer from Cesaro.
I'm legit. I can't remember a damn thing from this match.
Did like a few cool variations of the sharpshooter, or try to get putting him into the sharpshooter. He did the big swing, Adam. He did the big swing. He did his big moves.
Who cares?
You are so
real.
mean.
Why should I get it? How am I supposed to get invested in a feud that already has ended? It's because, I forgot. We fired half of our roster.
Well, you didn't
Shinsuke Nakamura is the king now, I guess, too.
He's got his crown, and he's got... What's
Oh my god.
Rick
who's
Boogs.
Rick Boogs.
Whatever that means.
I don't know.
Yeah, good on you, SmackDown.
Well, I got nothing for this match. I thought it was pretty much the same shit we saw at WrestleMania, and it was slower. So take that for what you will. They're still very good at what they do, and they're like, it works. So it's like, if you like the WrestleMania match, I'm pretty sure you're gonna like this one.
Seth is in a position right now, and I feel like, I don't know if anybody else mentions this, or if anybody else doesn't talk about it enough. Seth is an amazing heel. Seth is really good in the ring. But Seth acts and has never changed his wrestling style to mimic his heel persona. He always wrestles as babyface Seth, and that doesn't work for me.
Well, what's the difference between babyface Seth and heel Seth? Because this is the same style he wrestled when he was in the Shield. Same style he wrestled when he was in the Authority.
Like, look at Roman. Roman's changed his shit up. He has a goddamn cool guillotine choke and stuff. Just change it up a little bit to mimic. Like, the only thing he changed is he took Loki's move. Which is still, like, a really cool, flashy move. I just think Seth's arsenal is too flashy and too, like, pop-inducing.
Isn't he, like, the king of drip or some bullshit like that?
Yeah. He's got the...
What does that mean?
He's got the drip now. Like,
he's not the Messiah. Now he's a TikTok guy.
He's a stylish guy, so he's big and flashy. That's kind of what having the drip would be, so...
Looking like the rejected Young Buck.
We're gonna talk
anyway,
about
next,
the Young Bucks.
let's get on to the next.
Let's get on to. Wait, what? What, CJ?
Pound this fucking show up, because I didn't watch Hell in the Cell.
Okay.
Let's get on to this crazy ass
Let's
shit.
go on to the best thing on this fucking show.
What?
Let's get on to Alexa Bliss versus
What happened here?
Shayna Baszler. Everything
All right.
you thought would have
Everything was
happened. No, fuck that. Everything was right because if you were literally expecting anything different from this match, then you have not been paying attention.
For one, I was expecting not a real wrestling match, which we ended up getting, which in all honesty, I enjoyed. It's nice to see Alexa actually back in the ring. She was really laying in some really good kicks in this match. She has this really cool, like, kick to Shayna's face while she's seated at one point. Really liked that. And also she did a flipping senton that the camera just completely forgot to pay attention because we had to know what Nia and Reginald on the outside were doing. Which, by the way, let's talk about Nia and Reginald, who, if I'm not mistaken, have already broken up with Shayna. Shayna does not like Reginald. They wrestled already. Why are they with her?
Reginald does not Shayna does not like Reginald, but I believe Nia and Shayna are still a tag team.
But but they've been having issues lately. Also, Reginald disappeared 2 weeks ago, and now he's just back.
Yeah. Reggie.
No!
Reggie.
This match was a match that was... I was expecting this to be 2 minutes of a lot of hey, listen, it's our last time in the Thunderdome on pay-per-view. Let's go all out with the graphics and spooky bullshit. They didn't do any of that. Instead, we got an awful hypnosis angle.
I like how this whole thing revolved around Lily, and she was nowhere to be found.
She was nowhere to be found!
That was the best part of it. No, the other best part of this match was when fucking Shayna was doing her submission moves, and they were literally doing nothing. Also that, and the fact that we got... I looked it up on Twitter. Someone posted it when she was doing the fucking... trying to do the wrist thing, and Alexa was just looking at her. We got 20 camera cuts in that one shot in the span of 22 seconds. That's fucking...
Throw up.
Ridiculous. How
this whole match was...
fuck does that happen?
I came on here... First episode. I think it was the first episode. Was Mania the first one, or was second episode was Mania?
I think Mania... No, WrestleMania Backlash was the second one.
Yeah. Then on that one, I had mentioned how I like the Fiend and Alexa storyline. Coming from me, the biggest Bliss fan you can think of, I've officially checked out. I'm officially checked out.
But
I am
Adam,
done with this angle. I'm done with this angle. I'm so the minute I called it from a mile away. They're like, everybody's down. Nia's on the outside. Nia stopped. They're about to do some weird hypnosis bullshit. And then Alexa starts raising her hand, and then Nia starts raising her hand, and then all of us. The only funny part about this was the slap that she gave Reginald, because it was like Nia was looking at Bliss, and then she just kind of smacked. It was very well done. It was the only funny thing about. It was the only thing I liked about this match. That and that really good kick that Alexa did. And then Alexa screams, and then Nia screams, and then Alexa wins. Okay, and then she goes up on top of the ramp, and she starts touching her face like she's getting a facial.
Ooh.
And I don't know what's going on, and I'm throwing up in my mouth, and we're 3 matches into the 6-match card, and I already feel like I'm completely done here. But you're allowed to leave.
So all in all, very good match. I enjoyed it. Best thing on this show. We've got up next Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn.
Second best thing on the show.
Yeah, I really like this.
I like anytime these two guys are together, I always know that I'm going to enjoy myself. Mainly for what I said earlier in this.
I thought the selling.
They do things different. They do things different, and that's the best part. There were some really good, just striking action in this match. Headbutts, forearms, kneeling kicks, just outside damage. Sammy's bleeding at one point. Kevin may or may not have hurt his shoulder.
I thought Owens was selling way too much in this, though.
Well, it seems... Well, he has posted, on Twitter, pretty much saying, time to take a break. See you, catch you guys later. So maybe he is hurt. Or maybe he was selling it, but also there was something wrong there. He did sell it a lot. But, hey, what sucks is that if he is hurt, that's another thing. That's another big babyface SmackDown loses.
That's their only babyface.
Well, they have Rey Mysterio
Who just got fucked up in a Hell in a Cell match.
and Cesaro if they did it right.
But Cesaro just lost.
Well, that's why we have doo 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 doo. He's on his way back.
Yeah.
But I like this match. I thought, like I said, a lot of good striking and a lot of good just in-ring physical action between the two of them. I don't ever hate enjoying when I watch these two wrestle.
I am getting real sick and tired of watching Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn fight. Like, so sick of it. And that's not like me taking apart this match or anything, because I thought it was pretty good, but Jesus fucking Christ, I'm sick of it.
They've been going at it since Ring of Honor, for crying out loud.
Earlier than that.
I do
Where?
believe I was watching a stream the New Legacy Boys, and they were doing their Hell in a Cell simulation, and I do believe they actually addressed this, and they were like, well, let's see what you can find. And they looked it up, and before Hell in a Cell, I do believe the current total scoring between all of the singles matches, including house shows, was, I think it was Kevin was up 93-92.
Jesus Christ.
Which now is 93-93.
Enough! Fuck enough!
But how is it enough when they're doing new shit, though? Unlike Seth and Sammy, Seth and Seth, or what the next match with Rhea and Charlotte, or
It's just the same rivalry.
if you told me,
yeah, it's the same rivalry. Again, like I said, I think this match should have been inside of a Hell in a Cell. At least it would have warranted it.
if you told me that these two that they're not allowed to fight each other for the next 10 years, I would say that's still still not long enough. Not long enough.
What isn't that just an issue with this entire card?
Yes, it is, but
There was one match on this whole show that was not a rematch.
And that was the thing with this whole show is like, yeah, I'm pretty sure most of these matches were good. Like, the in-ring stuff would be great to look at. Problem is, I've seen every single one of these matches, like, fucking 20 times, and if it wasn't here, it was probably in, like, Ring of Honor, or Impact, or Chikara, or some other bullshit. I was tired.
There are so many people on this roster that could be being used, especially on the Raw side of things. Where's Keith Lee? Why isn't Jeff getting something? He's a big enough babyface. What about I would love a Cedric and Bobby feud.
Oh, don't worry, they're already building up their new top babyface. He goes by the name of fucking Jackson Riker.
Gunner?
Yeah.
We're moving on. We're going to the next match.
Yes, let's move on to the next match that also had an awful finish.
Fucking Rhea Ripley taking on Charlotte Flair.
I have never in my life, watched a DQ.
Oh my
Because the match ends. CJ, get ready for this. The
Okay.
match ends in a DQ, right? Title
Okay.
match, DQ. Now you would think, all right, basic DQ probably, right? Rhea decided to hit her with a belt, or maybe a count out, something simple, right? No. How about Charlotte takes apart the now was it Charlotte or Rhea? No, Rhea is taking apart the announce table, and the cover of the announce table just so happened to hit Charlotte, disqualification.
That was the DQ?
Yes!
Oh my god. Oh my god.
She hits her with the top of the announce table cover, and the ref goes, oh, well, that's a disqualification.
I don't even want to fucking talk about the match. Like, I honestly don't.
Again, another match where,
fucking-
like, they did stuff. There was some good stuff. There's a really cool natural selection that got almost a really good near fall that was in, there was a cloverleaf sequence beforehand. Charlotte hitting another really nice moonsault. Rhea looking okay. Listen, I'll be the first one to come on here and state it, and I'm serious about this. I don't think Rhea is all that she's cracked up to be. I don't see why people love this Rhea Ripley chick. And I was watching her in NXT, And still then, when she won the belt, I was like, I don't think you're the one that should be taking it off of Shayna. And I still don't understand that, like, she's good, but I don't, what am I missing that people love about this Rhea Ripley lady? And especially now on the main roster, they've completely killed her.
Mainly because she's absolutely Ripley, Adam. It's the muscle.
That's it? Oh, because she looks good? But when she gets in the ring...
Looks like she could fucking crush most people with her goddamn biceps.
She had 2 extremely subpar matches with Asuka.
Listen, she's got the China look, alright?
You know who else has the China look?
China?
I can't think of any. Rhea is not. Hold up, Rhea is not China levels.
She's pretty buff.
They don't express that on the show.
No, they definitely don't.
They don't. She comes out there and like her whole gimmick right now is like she's troll face. Like like she makes faces and like that's it. And it's her brutality, I guess. Where's the brutality?
Is she supposed to be a heel or a face?
That's another issue. They're both heels. This was a heel versus heel match. The whole story was originally, I can't beat Nikki Cross, and neither can you. I guess we should fight each other. And then the story turned into, oh, Rhea, I see a lot of myself in you. You need to start taking lessons on how to be a real women's champion. And so this whole match was like, oh, you got me, Rhea, with the DQ. You're learning. I hate everything about this. Why isn't Rhea a babyface like she should have been? Again, I go back to it. I think Toni Storm should have had her position, and I don't know why that didn't happen. I think Toni's a better wrestler than Rhea. I think she's way more of an easy babyface to get behind. I don't see the appeal in Rhea Ripley.
I'm telling you, dude, it's the muscles.
If that's the only issue, if that's it, then like, what about like Mandy?
You don't think they've tried?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously the Rhea Ripley thing isn't working out. Fucking Charlotte's ripped.
Yeah, but she's like,
Ric Flair's daughter.
She's too tall. Well, not too
tall.
Rhea! She's like, it's kind of like, how do I put this without, she's ripped, but, you know, Rhea is jacked. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
Alright, on to the next match.
On to the main event of the evening. Another match that was really fun.
Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship to close
WWE
out
title.
Slammiversary here.
No, Slammiversary is in 2 weeks, and I'm way more excited for that shit.
Oh, are we talking about... I'm sorry, I must have watched the wrong fucking match, considering they've had so many of them!
Well, just alone in WWE, they've been fighting since before Mania.
I want it to stop. No more rematches.
I mean, I'm a big fan of the rematch from WrestleMania Backlash where Braun Strowman plays the Hell in a Cell, but this match was really fun. And starting it off, I like the whole, you know, really the aspect of using the cage a lot in the beginning. Like, they were barely in the ring for the first, 10 minutes of this. And then they got in the ring and they were doing cool stuff. And then it became kind of just back and forth and this and that and this and that. There's a really nice spine buster that Drew hits into a jackknife cover. That was really quick looking. So I enjoyed that. There's a few cool table spots, except for the one table spot that is now glaring, so Bobby sets up a table on the outside facing the entrance of the cage, and Drew gets chokeslammed through it, but it's a close-up because there was a crash pad where the table was, and so they cut back, and you clearly see a hand that is under the ring pushing the piece of broken table out from under the ring because Drew never went through this table. What?
Yeah.
And then the match ends in a roll-up!
Adam, can you answer me a question?
3 matches tonight ended in roll-up. 2 of them title matches.
Adam, can you answer me a question?
No.
Please. What is the purpose? What is the purpose of the Hell in a Cell?
Well, the purpose of Hell in a Cell, from what my knowledge is of being a wrestling fan, even though I don't like Hell in a Cells, is it is supposed to be the final destination between a big blowing off feud that culminates in hopefully a real hard-hitting, bloody affair, even though we don't get that anymore, of just 2 guys unleashing hell upon each other in this demonic structure. That's what I was told Hell in a Cell was. Also, I'm told explicitly throughout this night at least 20 times that everything is perfectly legal inside of the Hell in a Cell. Why do I have to be told that? It's Hell in a Cell.
In case someone pulls out a giant hammer next time.
Or what, Brock rips the door down and double DQ? I was hoping for Brock so much in this match at the end. I was like, please tell me we're ending on something. Please? Please? I was that, there's that Anakin and Padme gif that's going around right now. Of him being like one thing, and then she's like, oh, but you sure? Yeah, that's how I was. When Brock didn't show up, I was like, but there's still something, right?
No.
Right?
No.
No, the show goes off the air. Drew's a big loser. A big baby loser because he got rolled up by Bobby Lashley because MVP distracted him because MVP got himself in the fucking cage. This match sucks. not this, this match was fine. The Hell in a Cell match suck. They are dead. They have been dead since this stupid concept of having to make sure we have one Hell in a Cell every year. Well, now we get 3 most years. We get 3 of them. This year we got 2, and only one of them was really good because it had a finish that was worthy. But guess what? That match was also the one that should have not been inside Hell in a Cell. And this one deserved to be in Hell in a Cell between Bobby and Drew. And it still ends in stupid fashion that they can just be like, we can do it again sometime. Even though, Drew can't challenge now for the belt as long as Bobby holds it, because that's ever mattered.
Especially considering he was just in a Money in the Bank qualifying match.
Hey, let's give him a chance to get the opportunity to fight for Bobby.
And he's going to have apparently he's going to be in because he's going to be in the last shot Money in the Bank qualifying match next week.
Sounds like a great company that knows how to book. Holy fuck.
This is a company that got rid of an 80% of its roster within the last 2 years between what happened in the last, Black Wednesday and this year's Black Wednesday, and then the 9 other people that were let go a few weeks ago.
They brought Joe back, so.
And, to be a GM on NXT. What does that? Who does that help? I mean, yeah, cool, it's fine, but I guess we'll talk about that in the news portion. But you got rid of Braun, who was a big asset for the main event scene of Raw. Where's Keith Lee? Apparently now they're already testing out Bronson Reed and Karrion Kross on main event because they're like, shit, we need fucking people on our roster. Let's just call up a bunch of NXT guys out of nowhere. Remember when that worked out well for when they did that EC3 and Nikki Cross and the Lacey Evans thing? Yeah, like how well that turned out. Nikki Cross is Mighty Molly now. Or remember when they brought up Gargano and Ciampa and who were the other 2? So you can't even remember.
You think I know? Why are you asking
Exactly,
me?
Because that's what they're going to do again. Let's just bring up Cross and Bronson, who are both champions, and just shove them on the roster because
You're
we
showing
need people.
a lot
Even though
more
they have people that could take those positions. You have Jeff Hardy, who, again, he's a legend at this point. He doesn't need to win the belt, but he's a great hand to put in there against a heel, especially when the fans come back. Jeff was an easy person to have the fans be cheering for, and he would sell very well for Bobby Lashley. That would be something I'd be interested. Also, it's new. Cedric has a reason to fight for it after the whole Hurt Business thing fell through. But nope, Cedric's losing on main event or whatever. Where's Mustafa Ali? Again, Keith Lee. Fuck it, I will take Jinder Mahal at this point. Give me something new.
WWE in total has, if you paid attention to all their programming, they make like 12 hours of content every week. And there is someone out there who watches all of it. What the fuck?
I don't know how.
What the
I don't know
fuck?
how. Everything you're going off about is why I stopped. I canceled the WWE Network the other day to watch, or the other couple weeks ago to watch Formula One. That's where I'm at. You let all your people go. You're giving me the same match. I mean, the same match was also a problem when Paul Heyman had him running a Raw. How many times did I see fucking Andrade versus
Ray.
that other... No, not him. The other Mexican guy that doesn't have a mask.
Humberto Carrillo.
Yeah, like every fucking week. It was like that match. I turn on Raw and it's that match. And I'm like, holy fuck, I don't know how much longer I can take it. And then they just let everybody go. And I said, I'm not giving them money no more. Fuck this shit. Like, I'm watching Nitro from 96 and having way more fun than a 3-hour Raw. How the fuck are they still on 3 hours on Raw? It's just...
Because
I'm burnt out.
Sponsorships. That's the only reason. They've made it very clear. The only reason that third hour exists is because they make a lot of money in that third hour strictly off of commercials. So, instead of saying, fuck it, we don't need the commercials because we're already this crazy-ass billion-dollar company, but I guess we still have to let people go because budget cuts or whatever. This company is going to be sold in the next 2 or 3 years because that's what Nick Khan is planning. And no one gives a shit anymore. And nothing matters, and once NBC or Disney buys it, it'll be out of our hands, and maybe I could just say, fuck it.
I've said fuck it. I can't do it no more.
I've said fuck it for about, 5 fucking years at this point.
No, but you're still watching. Like, I'm not watching. Everything you said, didn't know what was going on. Not a fucking clue. Other than the fact that they booked 4 matches, because I thought Hell in a Cell was the weekend before it actually happened. And then I went and looked, and I said, oh, fuck, they got 4 matches. And then I looked fucking Friday, and I'm like, holy fuck, they still have 4 matches? And then Roman's on Raw, or on SmackDown and Hell in a Cell? It's just... Well, there's nothing left. Who is their audience at this point? Who are they trying to bring? Like...
The audience is the people that are going to continue to watch, that are never going to leave them. And at this point, they're content with that because they know that at this point, it's not the fans who are watching the show that are making them money. It's everything that they do outside of the goddamn ring that's making them money. The sponsorships, the ad deals, the selling rights to this place, selling rights to that place, becoming partners with these people, doing this outside. It's the company is going down a path where they are going to bottom out so that they can sell this company for a very nice penny, and the McMahon family will leave, and somebody else will take over, and everything will fucking change, and it'll probably be for even worse than what we're seeing now, because some company that has no idea what wrestling is will take over, and it'll be 95 all over again.
Just, to sell all of that to advertisers and stuff, though, you need to have the base audience to say, look, we had fucking 3 million people watch our show. So if you bring Snickers onto our show, that's 3 million people that you can say, hungry? Grab a Snickers. And if you just keep the sponsors are going to go. All you're going to have is dirty Saudi money by the end of it. Fuck, let them buy it, and they can bring back Yokozuna like he was hoping for in The Ultimate Warrior. I don't know, I've been watching this shit my whole life, and there was one time in 2007 that I gave up. And then I got brought back in. And it's just, I'm done. I'm done with WWE. I can't do it.
I'm going to give them another shot. No, hold on. I'm going to give them an opportunity and see if the fans coming back will something feel different. And even if the fans come back and the shit still is going down the same path, because I feel like maybe they're just kind of like Thunderdome's about to be done in a few weeks. Let's just fucking limp ourselves to Money in the Bank with who cares what. Maybe that's what they're thinking. And then once the fans are back and they start hearing how the reception goes for certain people and we start having an idea of what SummerSlam's going to turn into, maybe then the company will sort of have some form of a facelift Because before the pandemic, with the Fox on Fox on SmackDown on Fox deal, I was like, all right, SmackDown's starting to really get itself together, and then the pandemic hit, and I thought even Raw was like, oh, Raw's got some cool shit. But again, half the roster was still here. I'm gonna give them Money in the Bank, and if Money in the Bank is fucking trash, then I'm not even gonna bother with SummerSlam. Even for maybe John Cena, and that's about it.
Well,
I hated this show. I hated having to fucking sit through it because, like I said, I'd rather sit through a really, really bad show because at least I'd have something fun to talk about. Instead, I had to come on here and yell and get angry.
I had a pleasant Sunday and I didn't watch it. I had a really good Sunday.
I got to watch Rick and Morty afterwards. That was the highlight.
That's on YouTube right now.
Go watch it. It's 22 minutes and it's better than anything fucking Raw did or Hell in a Cell did. There's dog people, and they want to kill Morty, and it's better than Raw.
It's not saying much. A lot of us, what we're doing in CAW is way better than fucking WWE right now.
Anything is better. Please,
just...
for the love, if anybody is listening that doesn't know anything that's not WWE related, or hell, even AEW or TNA related, please, for the love, go look at some independent wrestling companies and get yourself rejuvenated in wrestling again. Go watch go watch Beyond or GCW, VXS, or even, shout outs to C4 in Canada for CJ, or Smash if they're still a thing, or WWR, which is an entire women's-based professional wrestling on the East Coast, or PWG because it's coming back. ROH is doing really good. Please, find something else. Fuck it, watch OVW for all I care. Just watch something else, please. And understand that this is not what wrestling is anymore. This is a farce. And this is people limping to the bank, hoping that they'll get a nice chunk of change once they sell this company off, and all these people that you love are put in an even bigger position of what is happening to us now, because they don't care about you. They've never cared about you, and they clearly don't care about the people that work on that roster because nobody is safe now. It's infuriating.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to add.
I don't either.
Well, with that, I guess we can move on to our news portion after Adam completely laid out his entire heart and soul on that one fucking segment. So let's get right into it. Let's start with Impact, shall we? We got some matches. We got some matches confirmed for Slammiversary, including one of those being the Ultimate X match making its return.
It'll be better than anything I saw in Hell in a Cell. Okay, I'm done. But yes, no, I'm very excited for the return of Ultimate X. All 6 men in this match, even TJP, are going to give it their all. Petey Williams is back, which is awesome. It's always great to see Petey Williams. Josh Alexander's on a roll of his career right now in Impact with that X Division title. You throw in your Rohit and Ace Austin. We're going to do some really cool shit. I'm forgetting somebody.
Josh Alexander,
Trey Miguel. Trey Miguel. He's going to do some really cool shit. And in front of fans, for Slammiversary, great match. I can totally see this being the opener.
TJP is not in this match.
He's not?
Nope.
Wait, he was?
Josh Alexander, Trey Miguel, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, Rohit Raju, and Petey Williams.
Oh, I thought, well, maybe. No, all right. I didn't know Chris Bay was in it. Okay. Chris Bay's back. That's cool.
I'm honestly very excited. Ultimate X is coming back. It feels like for the first time in a while that the X Division is finally starting to mean something again. So that's great. Especially with Josh Alexander as the champ.
Do you guys actually watch Impact? Or is it just kind of like, this is what I heard?
I'm here and there.
I watch when it's... I watch some. I don't watch... Sometimes I'll watch the full episode the day of. Other times I'll watch the replay. It really depends on the card. Sometimes the cards aren't all that interesting to me, or it's like the lull point in between like a pay-per-view and like the next big pay-per-view. But right now they're doing really good stuff with this Built to Slammiversary. with Sammy and Kenny. The X Division's looking really good. Deanna's on fire. Satoshi Kojima.
I mean, I've been kind of in and out too, but I've been trying to make a point to watch Impact for the first time in a long time.
It's another issue, like in the same vein with the W. I'm just waiting for these fans to come back, and then I'll probably continue to watch religiously again. It's just like I'm tired of the no crowd.
Yeah, I can feel that. We've been programmed for how long you've been alive with fans in the crowd. And you've seen like what Mankind and The Rock had no fans, and Kurt Angle and Sting had no fans for their match for the empty arena, and that's about it.
But yeah, I feel like it's good. It's something that we can't control, and they can't control, and nobody can control.
No, absolutely.
But the fact, but since all these companies are like, oh, we're going back on the road, it's just making me more anticipating. Like, all right, I know this shit's only got a few more weeks. I just gotta limp through it all. I just gotta deal with it, and then we'll be back to normal. So it's kind of what I'm dealing with Impact. Like, the product is still great. I still think, for a roster that's like maybe about 30 to maybe 40 people, they still have an immense, take note, W, they still have an immense talent of being able to provide fresh and new matchups all the time with the limited amount of roster that they have, which is always something nice to see.
Moose is fucking money. Oh.
Well, speaking of Moose, he's fighting Sabin at Anniversary.
Yeah, why?
Because Moose took Sabin out like a few weeks ago before Rebellion, I think it was, and now he's back for revenge.
The only thing I'd say about the Impact roster is everything seems to be great. I mean, you said the X Division's looking awesome, which I agree with. I like the women's division there as well. They're bringing back old names that I watched when it was airing on Spike TV. You got Taylor Wilde back, and it's like, oh, fuck yeah, Taylor Wilde. It's just that main event scene.
Yeah.
Especially with Kenny Omega being the guy that he is right now. I only saw Moose as the only one that compared to him and how they would build him on Impact as the 5-star athlete. And everything else, I feel like Sammy's going to take the belt off him, and I don't think he should.
I see a lot of people thinking that they're probably going to build up Josh Alexander for that spot. And I can honestly see it by how well booked he's been.
There's also,
the
again, the giant pool of the free agents that they're teasing.
I heard they did that last year, though.
They did, and we ended up with Eric Young and the Good Brothers, and EC3.
Big LG, baby!
And I mean, look, I think W. Morrissey, the former Big Cass, I think in a few months with
Swamp-ass Cass!
Listen, he's doing really good. He's in the best shape of his life. His promo skills aren't on.
Amazing.
He had
his promos are gotten better. He had a killer match with Rich Swann.
He had a fucking giant-ass wet spot on his butt cheeks.
Okay, thank you. I think he has an opportunity to be a big main eventer. I think, depending on how he stands wanting to continue wrestling or not, I think Impact is going to make a big pull to bring in Braun eventually.
Oh, God.
They can't afford him. I don't think they can afford him.
And if not Braun, maybe somebody like Buddy or even an Alistair if he shows up. Or Tommy N now he is.
I mean, if you're going to do it, Slammiversary is going to be the time to do it.
Someone's
going to come in.
They're teasing other New Japan people that have worked there before, like Naito. I mean, what's Naito doing right now?
He's fighting for the
tag titles.
Tag titles with Sonata.
Yeah, because that's all that. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, bring Sonata with him. Why not? Great Sonata.
No.
And Slammiversary is going to be very interesting. I thought what they should have done would have been the smarter idea is to just put Sabin and Moose and Callahan, Kenny, and a new guy, and just give us a King of the Mountain match. Bring back King of the Mountain. People want it. I want it.
I don't. You might be the only one who wants it.
That is not true. There are a lot of people, if you look for it, that
They made a
love King of
whole
the Mountain
fucking
match.
belt around that concept, and it was
That
stupid.
was their fault.
That was dumb.
That was
That
very
belt was
dumb.
named
I
20
agree.
different fucking times. Don't blame that on the belt. The King of the
But we
Mountain's been
haven't
around
had-
since the pay-per-view days.
We haven't had a really good King of the Mountain match in forever. And I think you put Kenny, Sammy, Moose, Chris Sabin, and like other guy that we don't know of yet. And I think you got a really good lineup of 5 guys in front of a crowd. They would be, it's a great match, I think, for a live audience. It's a ladder match essentially. Who don't like that? You got that and the Ultimate X on the same show. It's kind of like a big we're back. And we knew that before. Impact wanted to do this throwback show during WrestleCon weekend before Corona happened, and there was a King of the Mountain match planned for that show. So it's not like the company hasn't thought about doing it again. This would have been the perfect place to do it. I love Sami Callihan. I don't know if him and Kenny is the draw that this pay-per-view needs as its main event.
All right, well, I had an entire thing planned out for that, but you kind of just rolled your way through the fucking card, so I guess we'll go on to what's next. Samoa Joe made his return to NXT. He was brought in. It looked like William Regal was about to denounce his role as active general manager when he was in the ring with Karrion Kross. But who should come out but Samoa Joe? He is now, I guess, Regal's enforcer.
He's like Sheriff Austin.
Yeah.
Or like Matt Morgan to Jim Cornette in TNA.
Where
It's sad. But yeah. Matt Morgan. What could it be?
Who was going to fuck with Matt Morgan?
DNA of TNA, bro. The blueprint.
Well, they never,
You
He
have
is
a
like shit back
waker!
then.
This needs
But-
a giant within!
I actually watched. Oh my god! I watched a good portion of this NXT, and I thought it was a really good
Why?
episode
Why did you do that?
because I was interested about the Joe thing, and I thought the show itself was very good. It felt like NXT back on the network again, which is something I would love to have back. And this opening segment with Joe was fucking amazing. Regal just putting all of the emotion out there. Cross was really good. Then Joe came out and it was really good. I don't know if Joe is the thing that NXT needs to, he's not wrestling, we know that, at least not now or anytime soon. Yeah, it was a cool thing, but is this really what's going to keep them afloat? In another month? Say a month from now, when he's now just a part of the scenery again. Then what?
No, it just fades in the back, and then it doesn't really
Exactly.
do much.
It's cool for a week or two, but he's just an enforcer guy.
It was cool to see him physical again after seeing him on commentary wearing a
Just have him
fucking rain
choke.
poncho.
Just have him choke motherfuckers out forever, and it'll be cool. You don't
That's what
need
he
more
did,
than
though,
that.
didn't he?
Yeah, he choked out Cole, and it was awesome. Made Cole look like a bitch, but I didn't care.
Yeah, but isn't that going to be another issue, at the expense of them?
It's not like it matters.
But it's Joe.
True.
It's Samoa Joe.
Mm.
The man that pushed MJF. It's Samoa.
Speaking of MJF, MJF's got cryptocurrency.
Oh my.
The
This
man
guy.
announced his own form of cryptocurrency earlier on in this week. Apparently
He
he's
said,
actually
"Look, I'm gonna milk the marks right here. You watch this, boys."
actually making money off of this shit.
Yeah, no shit.
The people are actually investing in this garbage.
Because there's fucking marks out there that would. Oh yeah, I gotta get that. Oh, get me on that shit.
Look,
What fucking?
I don't fucking care, dude. MJF knows that these people are marks. He takes full advantage
100%.
of it, and he doesn't give a fuck. And I love it. Fucking love it. He's the best.
it's such a fucking easy gimmick with this guy. I don't people. Oh, he's so amazing. He's his in-ring work is good and all of that, but like the gimmick, I don't see it as anything special. I feel like I could do that gimmick, and then you book me the way you book him, and fuck. All of a sudden, I'm got Warlord, and I'm charging $500 on TikTok.
Warlord.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. Like I feel it's such an easy gimmick. Oh, fuck. I wish.
I think it's such an easy game, but in like a time where like people are constantly worried about what other people think about them, and then you see MJF just completely in his own little universe. It's refreshing, is what I'm saying. It's refreshing to see.
It's refreshing to see someone commit to kayfabe
Yes.
so much.
Fuck. Also,
I mean, good for him. Absolutely good for him.
Oh, absolutely. He's making money, which is this was the important thing in this business. AEW also announced a stadium show for New York. Is it in Queens, Adam?
I think so. Let me double check. I think he went to go take a dump. One second. AEW New York. Is it a stadium show or is it just a...
I'm pretty sure it was a stadium show.
I mean, it's a big deal for AEW to go into New York. That's fucking huge. Arthur Ashe Stadium. How many does that hold? Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Yeah, it's a tennis.
It's a tennis. Yeah,
it's a tennis stadium. It'll be
holds 23,000.
The first wrestling event to be held from that stadium will be this September 22nd episode of Dynamite, which is I think did you already say the name? Grand Slam.
No.
It holds 23,000, 24,000. Let's say.
Yes, it's a
so
Dynamite
it's not
Grand
really
Slam.
a stadium show, but
it's going to be outside though, so that's cool. It'll be part of a 2-week Dynamite thing involving the previous week's Dynamite, which will be held from the Prudential Center in Jersey. I'll be at both shows.
I'd like
because I'm a mark.
I'd go down.
Oh, and I'm also hoping to see my Dino Daddy.
I'm hoping that this is main evented by Cody Rhodes and Paul White. Like that.
I hope it's main evented by Eddie Kingston beating Miro for the TNT title.
I hope
They're gonna make it big.
Main evented by the Bucks and Nakazawa taking on Christian and Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt.
Wait. And not Dino Daddy Luchasaurus.
No.
Dude, I don't know why he doesn't they don't do more with him. Oh my god, I fucking love Luchasaurus.
Thank you. Somebody else.
Holy Christ.
CJ.
He looks different. He's got a cool moveset for a big guy. I just don't understand. Maybe
He's a dinosaur. He's been alive for like a millennia. He's got a PhD. He's a real dinosaur. He's a real dinosaur. Not all this fake bullshit that I keep hearing people talking about. Because
to be honest, if you've been on the live on this planet for a whole millennia, and even more so, then a PhD is probably like the least impressive thing you've probably.
He's the only. Well, hold on. You know what's impressive? Do you know any other dinosaurs that have a PhD? Exactly. My point stands still. Dinosaurs rule. He's the best thing going. I mean, he's a like I said, he's a shoot dinosaur.
I just feel that there's something there that you can tap into that everyone's just focused on Jungle Boy. Oh, it's Luke
I love Jungle Boy.
Oh my god.
I love Jungle Boy though.
We're gonna talk. I'm gonna talk about how much I love Jungle Boy when we do our Dynamite review. But
I just feel like there's also that much there with Luchasaurus, and they're not
I
capitalizing.
agree. I think there's more that could be done with Luchasaurus, but Jungle Boy. We'll get to that in a minute. Quick New Japan news before we move on.
Hold on.
What?
I want to talk about the GCW event.
You went to another one?
No, I want to talk about what happened this weekend in Wyoming.
Okay.
I showed up.
Go ahead.
I would recommend anybody go out and watch the Outlaw Mud Show that GCW ran in Wyoming. It's the first time that Wyoming has seen wrestling since a Raw house show in 2002. They held it from inside of an actual barn, which was really fun. About 80% of the people that were there were witnessing their first ever wrestling show ever, which was really fun. Listening to these Wyoming fans pretty much not understand wrestling and then sort of get into it and then sort of also not understand it either was really entertaining. But good on you, Wyoming fans. You tried, and bless your hearts. You don't know what wrestling is.
Actually, live in Wyoming. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, trust me, I made it my job, me and my friend, when we were watching the show, to just look up and see, what does Wyoming have? We came to the conclusion, they have Yellowstone National Park and Eric Bischoff, and that's about it.
That's
square.
Literally everything.
That's about it. They don't even have it. They have minor league sports teams like that, but like that's it. They don't have anything. I think they had a hockey team.
They're square.
But the show itself was very fun. Like I said, inside of a barn, a dirt and sandy floor, which was a cool aesthetic for what it was. I go out of your way to watch at least Jimmy Lloyd and Alley Catch, the former Alley Cat. Also, AJ Gray had a really good match on that show. I'm trying to remember who he fought, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But also the main event was Nick Gage and Mance Warner. They fought in a bunkhouse brawl for the GCW title. A really fun GCW main event right there. Mance Warner got really, really bloodied up, but good old Mancer kept it going. Nick Gage cut a promo afterwards, the same Nick Gage promo you always hear, I'm in jail, I love my fans, you motherfuckers rule, fuck Matt Cardona. But the highlight coming after this show, that's making the headways was apparently, because again, it's Wyoming, and they don't know what wrestling is, some people, noticed from the barn, Mance and Nick Gage fighting, because they ended up in the concession stand area, and 8 police were called on the show, because they thought there was an actual, realistic fight going on. And it turned out to just be a wrestling match. So, Wyoming, everybody, don't go there, because they don't know what the world is, apparently.
No.
But, besides that, all in all, a great show for GCW. Catch them again July 4th, actually, for their backyard wrestling event that they do every year. And then the 9th and the 10th, they're in Texas. And then, of course, the 24th and the 25th down in Atlantic City for homecoming weekend. I can't wait to watch Matt Cardona in a death match against Nick Gage. That's a sentence in 2021 that I'm saying that if you told me 10 years ago, I would have said, huh? So there's
GCW original.
There is your GCW update of the week from Adam Jackpot.
A PSA on deathmatch wrestling and Wyoming still being the absolute dirt fucking worst state ever.
Deathmatch wrestling is the best thing in wrestling. Independent wrestling keeps it strong. GCW, the best wrestling company on the face of this planet that isn't on television right now. Go support them. They're great. It's a great community of people, a loving community, inclusive, not inclusive. Am I saying that right? That means everybody?
Yeah.
Inclusive,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's an inclusive community. Everybody's allowed. I mean, these people, everybody gets booked on this show. It's not just deathmatch wrestling. Please don't think of it like that stereotype like CZW had. Yes, there's deathmatch wrestling, but there's so much other great high-flying stuff, really good tag team work. Again, a huge emphasis on pride within GCW, which is always a great thing to see in wrestling. Just go out of your way and watch it. It's really good stuff. All in all, top to bottom. And also, next episode, I'll have not a next episode, the 2 weeks. No, it is next week. Next episode, next episode, no. 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I'll have a live independent show review, since the GCW one that I was supposed to do didn't happen. There's your indie wrap up for the week, courtesy of Adam Jackpot. WWR. I heard that was a really good show that Beyond put on, All Women's League. Catch it on IWTV. Now you can go.
We're gonna run down some quick news from Japan before we get on to CJ's preference pick segment of the show. We want to give a quick shout out to Stardom. I think it wasn't last week, but I believe it was the week after that they held a show that featured a match by Utami Hayashita taking on Sayuri.
Hayashita.
Hayashita taking on Sayuri, and apparently that match received a 5.5-star rating from Dave Meltzer, which I believe makes it the highest rated female match of all time from the Wrestling Observer. So, just want to give a quick shout out to them because I believe that Stardom deserves more recognition. They've been, you've seen women like Io and Kairi. They came from there. So if you want to just get a good grasp of how good, the talent pool is in Stardom, there you go. Quick New Japan news here. Resurgence. The first New Japan show in the United States that's going to have fans. As you all know, New Japan has had this U.S. show called New Japan Strong going throughout in the entirety of the pandemic era. Well, now they will see their fans for the first time with Resurgence, which has already promised us people on the show by the likes of Jon Moxley, Jay White, all the Young Lions will be there, Ren Narita, and the return of one Shota Umino, who most people might know as Shooter, as his time teaming up with Jon Moxley back when Moxley first made his appearance down in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, exciting times. Hopefully this is what New Japan Strong needs in order to get the ball rolling, because it's kind of been just stagnant ever since its inception. So hoping for good things from that show. Also, Wrestle Grand Slam, the show that was supposed to take place, I believe, last month, is now got rescheduled to July 25th, and the main event of that show will be Kota Ibushi taking on Shingo Takagi for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Hopefully all's well that ends well, everything goes well, and we don't have to end up with another situation where we end up with another state of emergency from Japan. So, fingers crossed. And, this is, bring the news down, bring the tone down for a bit, but, I feel like this is important because this man was a very important, integral part to the, Impact, Wrestling,
shit, I completely forgot.
Very important to the Impact TNA brand as a whole, and I wouldn't feel right.
Part of my childhood.
Yeah, it wouldn't feel right if I didn't bring this up, but it was earlier on in the week. It was reported that Don West, one of the original announcers for TNA during its early years, was diagnosed with brain lymphoma. It is a form of brain cancer. We've been told that he's in great spirits. He's hoping, that this chemotherapy is going to help and he's going to heal fast and he's going to be back on radio soon.
Jeff Jarrett, announced on Twitter the whole situation and had said that he had been in touch and kept in touch with Don the past few days prior to the announcement that what he had, pretty much stating that he was in high spirits and he was still with us and he was still chugging along, but the situation at hand that he does have seems to be a little bit more dire than he has a chance, he has a fighting chance. But the actual disease, I guess, that he has is a hard one to overcome. Don West, huge part of childhood for me. I mean, I love TNA. I've made this clear before. Like, that's my company. Will always be my favorite wrestling company of all time. And him and Mike Tenay, second greatest commentary team of all time behind JR and Paul Heyman. Don West knew how to sell you on anything. He could sell you a goddamn brown bag, and you bought it. Yeah. I did.
Did you fucking see what was in it though?
I bought it still. Shit. I still bought it because he knew how to sell. And that man, whenever his excitement on that commentary booth always felt real to me. Like he had no idea what he was about to watch. And Godspeed to you, Don West. I hope you make it through. Here's to hopefully on the other side of things looking better. And like Zaya said, back on the radio. And fuck it, maybe even one day we get to see you back in TNA.
Absolutely. Well, with that though, we're going to be moving on to a special part of the show. Usually we would save this for the end, but we thought we'd bring it up before the Dynamite review.
Can I mention one other thing in the news segment?
Sure, Adam.
We'll make it quick. I'm sorry. We'll make it quick. I'll make it quick. Just quick opinions on the little bit of the AEW game footage we saw this week.
Oh yeah, that's right. We got AEW video game footage this week. It wasn't much, but from what we got a good look at what the models are supposed to look like. All in all, I thought the gameplay for a game that's pretty much, like, I believe, nowhere close to being done, as it seems right now. This looked pretty good. I was impressed.
9 figures are going into this game.
Are you for
9 figures?
Are you for real?
Yes.
8.
It was an 8
figures in the red.
Listen, 8 figures is still big for a video
100%.
game. So they're obviously putting a lot of money in stock. I mean, Tony Khan made it clear, like, they're currently in the red right now for AEW when it comes to profits because of this video game. He already expects that to turn around once, with the live shows and everything coming back. But, a lot of people took, like, they're in the red, that means they're failing. No, they just know where they're putting the money into. And I think they know that the amount of money they're putting into this game and the team that's behind it, they know that the returns are going to outweigh. And I feel that way. I really enjoyed the really fluidness of some of the stuff that we saw. I like the idea of the camera facing the ring entrance.
Yeah, SmackDown, here comes the pain.
Exactly.
It's very much
I think and also
and No Mercy, and
the model for Darby was a lot less bloated than what we saw with
Omega and Jericho.
So I feel like again, that was even more pre-developed than what we saw now. So I think maybe they took the criticisms of that and they're going to scale back a little bit on these bodies being like big, buffy, and and bulky. Darby, a great person to start off with. I'm excited. For what I saw, I'm happy I saw something, and it got me excited, so I'm ready.
Yeah.
It looked quick in the little footage, which is how I like my wrestling games. I hate the simulation style, and it's slow, and fuck, I had to turn on arcade mode. So it's what I liked, the look of it. I don't give a shit about graphics. I know people give shit about, it fucking looks like a game from 20 years ago. And I grew up on the N64. I could give 2 shits about graphics. Make it fucking play good, and I'll have a good time. But it was a little bit. It's definitely not done. But I'm excited to see another fucking company hopefully make a good game.
I very much enjoyed what I saw. I thought for a game that is, like, again, nowhere near complete, like, the fluid animations, it was great to... It really says something when this game that AEW is doing, it's like nowhere near done. Like, they still have ways to go. But I could still count on more from AEW to show me actual fucking gameplay footage than from the actual fucking 2K developers who insist on showing me goddamn entrance animations and moves from wrestlers. They don't even show you the fucking animations that are inside the game. They just show you the people mo-capping the fucking moves. It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. And especially when WWE 2K22 is supposed to come out sometime this year. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna be coughing, dropping people all day long in this motherfucker too, so be prepared for that.
The new moveset.
Yep. But
Fair enough.
with that, it is now time for the portion of the segment that CJ got to. We gave CJ the option to pick out any type of topic that he would want us to discuss. And, well, CJ decided, let's book WCW as if it were still around in the year 2001.
Alright, I can change the topic if you want, but...
No, absolutely not. This is what we're going with.
So, if you watch my show, you know of Precious Preston Carter, who is a real person. And him and I went out for lunch one day, and he was showing me the belts that WCW had ready to go if Bischoff and Fusion bought it. And I was like, fuck, they were going to bring back this belt, and they wanted to do that. And then it was like, well, what the fuck would you do if you were part of Fusion Media and you actually got... Let's say you got the TV time, you got everything that they were promised before they pulled out. I know where they kind of wanted to go with it. I'm just curious, when you look at this roster and kind of what was there, and you also got to think about money and like, oh fuck, this was a guaranteed contract, fucking get rid of him type of shit. I'm just like, do you think you could save it? Do you think it was dead then? Was there life? It's an interesting topic to me.
In the last few months, like, I thought, going back and rewatching some of these pay-per-views, that they were starting to get their head on straight again.
Yeah.
It felt like they were finally, like, kind of keeping kayfabe alive. They were on a roll, except for Goldberg, because they fucked that up. I don't know, whatever about that. But it felt like at least they were starting to have an identity of where they were going. Steiner and Booker, and they were bringing in the Cruiserweight Tag Team titles. Like, they had a good roster of talent. They were just not booking it right. And I think, with Vince Russo pretty much seemingly was going to be out of the picture with the whole Big Bang thing, and Bischoff was going to once again have his reign until Fusion came in, I think maybe there was a possibility at saving this. I mean, you look at I'm looking at the 2001 roster, and Christopher Daniels is on this roster, AJ Styles is on this roster, Elix Skipper's on this roster, Jimmy Yang, all four of those men, by the way, X Division stars in their own right, on top of Ray and Shannon and Shane Helms. They had a great undercard that they had. I think the biggest issue would have been their mid-card. And that's where I would flip some scripts, try and get a few of these ECW guys in, to kind of fill out those positions. I think Jerry Lynn in WCW would have been really cool in that Cruiserweight division. I would have liked to see Rhino in WCW.
A good one.
I think Rhino would have been really good for the mid-card. I would have loved to see Vampiro get elevated to a huge main eventer.
Oh, that poor guy. They did it. They tried to with Sting, but...
Yeah, but look at the matches they gave them.
I will say, real quick, Russo ends up leaving in October 2000. So,
all right, so he's gone already, so that's good.
Yeah, so I kind of took him a bit to steer that ship.
I would immediately kill off the NWO at this point, because it was a fucking sham of what it was. Chris Harris is on this roster? What the hell?
I don't think he was on TV, but I think he might have been at the plant. If you watch old, late WCW stuff, he's a security guy. In a lot of them. You see him with his little ponytail, but he's not the fucking...
Another guy
wanted.
Another guy that they were pushing at the tail end that I think it was a bit about time to pull the trigger, Billy Kidman. So
Yeah.
if I'm working with what I have here, I'm not bringing in any big names. I'm not bringing back Hogan. I'm not trying to, I guess I would keep Nash. I'd keep DDP. I'd get rid of Lex Luger because he helps no one or himself. Obviously you keep Flair. Obviously keep Scott Steiner. Make him the face. Make him and Booker like the top faces of this promotion. And I'd scale back heavily on the natural born thrillers.
I don't know. So you're 2001. I'm just trying to, because it was Ray and Kidman that left with the cruiserweight tag belts. I
Yes.
don't know if all the natural. Get rid of the natural born killers and fuck that.
But I'll pass it on to you guys and see what you guys think. But those are some of the things I would do.
Well, brought up ECW, which was fucking like I didn't even think of that. So hi, if you want to go ahead, and come up with some shit. I'm gonna look up some stuff here real quick.
Well, anyone who's ever talked to me or has known me for a while or has ever asked my opinion on WCW knows that I could not give one iota of a fuck about WCW.
Really?
Now, I assume, obviously, or maybe, you probably catch maybe the tail end of Nitro. Were you watching WCW at all?
I saw some of it when I was probably 3, but I'd always switch back to WWF in a nanosecond.
In your more adulter years, having the network before I decided.
Even now,
out.
I just
were
can't.
you watching at anything at all, or were you just accustomed? WCW is the devil.
No, it's just I would try, and it sometimes would catch my attention, it would have the Japanese stars on the show, and it'd have my guys like Nagata and all that stuff, Liger, and that was cool.
But you're 3 at this point.
No, he's talking about now when I got the network and I can afford it.
Okay, sorry. Yep, go ahead.
So
yep.
So that's cool. But then, I have to sit through the whole main event scene of WCW, and I hated the main event scene for WCW. I just could not get into it. I couldn't get to the constant. I hate Goldberg. I'm saying that right. I fucking hate Goldberg. Literally everything he does. Hogan being on top never was my thing. I like Nash, but I don't want to see him wrestle for too long. I like Booker. I like Steiner. I like Sting. It's just I don't think I've ever connected with many people outside WCW, except probably for Booker T. And if I'm being quite honest, if we're going by 2001, that's where my money's going to. Is the top star of my company, Booker T, with heel Scott Steiner constantly chasing him, and they're going back and forth. Meanwhile, you probably I would probably go with fucking Mike Awesome, just waiting just getting a push near that top spot. He constantly he being the upper mid card echelon of that, and he be constantly chasing after that. Put more attention and care into the cruiserweights. I don't think cruiserweights need fucking complicated gimmicks. And that's what was mainly the problem here. Is that they're all we gotta do something with them. It's you can just have them wrestle. And
Whoa.
What?
Are you dissing 3 count?
I'm not dissing. Okay, it's...
You've connected with 3 count. All right.
I connected with 3 count, alright? I love
there
fucking
go. There's
3
your
count.
main event for Zahaya. He brought in 3 count.
But
the main event.
Unless it's 3 count, I just want to see cruiserweights wrestle. That's all I want to do. Just go out there for 10 minutes, go do your shit, come out, great. that still leaves guys like Sting and Diamond Dallas Page. And I guess you could keep those. You could keep them in the fucking world title picture. Fucking kick Jeff Jarrett right out of that fucking world title picture, because good God, it's not working. Like, mid-card, at best, every single goddamn day of the week. You fight over whatever goddamn mid-card belt there is. Let's see, who else would I personally go after for? Ric Flair would just be someone's manager at this point. At this point in his career, he's just better at talking than he is wrestling. Let's see. Hugh Morris can go in the fucking trash. Ernest Miller.
You don't find him funny? You don't find him humorous?
Fuck off. Elex Skipper, definitely, I would have him poised for a push in the mid card.
He's ready to go. He's about to do the cage walk in TNA in a couple of years.
Oh,
Like, he's ready to fucking pop off.
Also, fucking Buff Bagwell can fuck off.
Dude. Oh, I mean...
Oh, wait, not Bob.
No!
So his in-ring work is dog shit.
Yeah.
But the man had more personality than half a roster today, let alone back then.
Right.
I don't know. He was definitely
Then I will...
brash in your face. I mean, you book it the way you book it. I don't.
Then
look at
I
it
will
just as a in-ring.
I will find him something to do. And he can use that personality of his in the fucking mid card. Fight for the U.S. belt for all I give you shit. Go. Disco.
Would you bring anybody in?
Would I bring anybody in? I think you said it best. I think the only people they would be able to afford it this time are probably people from ECW, but even then it's like... I think I'd be like the same with you. I'd just probably bring in Rhino and Jerry Lynn. Especially the guys who are like smaller in ECW, so I could pad up this fucking Cruiserweight division. And also get rid of... No, don't get rid of the Cruiserweight tag team titles. Because even now, I believe, because like 205 does tag team matches in there, and I was like, it doesn't even make sense, because what the fuck are you fighting for? So yeah, we can keep the tag team division.
Kid Cash was on there. What?
I don't know.
Kid
I
Cash
don't know 100% about this.
Kid Cash
Because Meng left WCW in January of 2001 on the list we're looking at, which is on the SmackDownHotel.com.
I assume this is just an overall list of everybody that was on the roster within the year.
Well, guess what?
Meng said that on this website, which, yeah, it looks like that's the case. So, fuck.
Well, guess what?
Whatever. Bring Kid Cash.
Meng's
He's on
getting
ECW,
fucking... Meng's getting fucking resigned, and he's going into a fucking feud with...
I'm also going to defunk the hardcore title, because they had an awful hardcore division.
Meng's going into a feud with Mike Awesome, and that's the end of that. Mark Jindrak and Sean O'Hare are going to be my boys. They're going to be, the young upstarts in mid-card, but they slowly built their way to superstar status, because I believe that's what is best. Again, like I said, Sting, Diamond Dallas Page, I guess you could keep them in the upper mid-card main event. Lex can fuck off. Terry's an old man.
I'm an old man.
I love Vampiro. I just don't know what the fuck I would do with him.
Main event!
Really?
I could see him, fucking around with, Booker T and doing some, backstage shit. I could see him scaring Scott Steiner and adding a little bit of levity to Scott Steiner, being like, uh-oh, Scott, maybe you're not all that's cracked up. Make him your Undertaker.
You know what? That's fair. I probably...
I know Sting is their Taker, but, Sting's never acted like Taker. He goes out there and he still talks. He calls himself Steve. He's like, yeah, it's Steve, all right. It's Sting. They could have mystified Vampiro and kept, he should have had a much longer U.S. title reign.
It's crazy that you talk about that, because that's the Sting that everybody wants when they bring in Sting. And then Sting's like, no, I want the mic. Let me fucking talk. It's like, no,
Yeah.
we want you to hang out in the rafters and fuck. Look at the promos that they did for Sting when he came into WWE. Like, it wasn't fucking TNA Sting. And even then, it's like, they want you to be the fucking guy, the justice guy up at the top, just watching me like, no, that's not right. I gotta come down and stop that because you're fucking people over. And then he takes a mic and he goes, surprise, surprise! And you're like, fuck! Like, I'm gonna push this statue over a Seth Rollins here real quick, and it's like, no, that's not the guy anybody wanted.
He's the Joker, baby.
Joker, baby.
It's like, I know he loves being that guy, but it's not.
Oh, he definitely loves it. He's in love with being the fucking
Which is
Joker.
exactly why I'm like, all right, well, let's just give the mysticism, give it a Vampiro. The crowd, it's the early 2000s. They're going to eat the fuck out of him up. I mean, come on now. Perfect time for the goth craze. Here's Vampiro coming out with the fucking Misfits, doing shit with ICP. Like, this guy was money. I don't understand what happened. I mean, I've heard he's not the easiest person to work with. That might be an issue, but I don't know.
Fucking music.
But yeah, if I'm gonna summarize, if I were going to summarize this, Booker T, main guy, Scott Steiner, main heel, Diamond Dallas Page, and Sting could hang around. Mark Jindrak and Sean O'Hare are my boys. Upper mid-card Mike Awesome, where he's fighting for the world title, and we'll see if he can build himself up to be the guy. Vampiro, I would say in the upper mid-card, he could fuck around with Booker T as a heel, and more emphasis on the cruiserweights, and Buff Bagwell could fuck off in the mid-card.
Aw. Well, CJ, it's your turn then. Since
Okay.
we saved you for last, it's your idea.
Perfect. Alright, let me see. I'm looking at it here. You brought up ECW, and I was like, fuck, I gotta look at some more rosters in. You brought up Rhino, Adam, which was like, yep, I'd bring him in. Kid Cash would fucking be awesome in there. Rob Van Dam doesn't sign with WWE until 7 months after ECW closes. So RVD's there. I'd bring him in, for sure. I'm just trying to think, because you're trying to impress. And Sandman would be another guy I'd bring in. I'd keep the hardcore title. I'm not bringing him in as Hack. I'd bring him in as Sandman. But you can grab fuck that bullshit. I'd keep the hardcore division, bring in a couple of ECW guys and try to at least try to build them up versus keeping them in that level. And at that point, that means I'd leave Terry Funk. Norman Smiley in here? I didn't see him, and no one's talked about him yet. Screaming Norman?
Oh, that's right, the Kiss Demon.
Yeah, I don't see him in here.
I don't either.
I'd keep him around at least. And then I went to look at TNA's roster in 2002 just to kind of see what was available right around that time. And there wasn't much, but Amazing Red around there. CM Punk. Let me see. And then I just have a soft spot for Monty Brown. If I could find him, I'd bring him in. Hindsight being 2020. I don't know. I'm really thinking. I also know that Road Dogg was actually a free agent right when they shut down. He did an interview saying that I went to WCW looking for a job, and all the fucking WWE trucks were there at the last show, and so I'd bring in Road Dogg. Let me see. My pillars, I would definitely build around Scott Steiner, Dallas Page, and I would build around Booker T as well. I would throw Animal in that mix as well. I see him on the roster. He was a part of the Magnificent Seven stable that they had at the time, if you guys know about that.
Road Warrior Animal, you're pushing as a singles guy.
So he came in as a singles guy.
Well, I know that, because Hawk.
Can he even move around enough to be a singles guy at this point?
I think you can at least throw him in there, see if it works. If it doesn't, alright, I'll fucking throw you down and you can wrestle for the TV title.
I think if Scott is doing his own thing, Animal and Rick is not a terrible tag team.
No. They'd be a good tag team. I would like to see what Animal was able to do by himself at this time. Not the fucking Animal that we got in SmackDown in like 06. What else do I got here? I'm scrapping the cruiserweight tag team titles. I just feel that's a ceiling that these guys can't get past. You've got AJ Styles on this roster. You got a future fucking AJ Styles on this roster, and you're gonna. if you do that, you're going to keep him at that level. And I don't feel if you have 2 sets of cruiserweights, he just kind of keeps them there. I would try to bring in and try to find new cruiserweights and try to push the old ones to at least make some fresh matchups. Throw Rey Mysterio up the card. Throw Billy Kidman up the card. Keep Disco down. Fuck Disco. Alex Skipper. I'd keep him there for a little bit, but he's definitely primed and ready to go up at some point. Let's see. Sean Stasiak. They were getting interesting. He was getting a little interesting around the end of this run with the Perfect One, and he had Stacy Keibler as his manager.
It's Hancock.
Yes. I'd definitely do something there.
Oh,
I'd let...
go ahead.
As a businessman, you got to start letting some people go. I'd let Kevin go. He's probably costing way too much to the company. We got to save money. Lex Luger's got to go too.
I'd let go of Sid too, because
Yeah.
he just broke his leg for your company.
Yeah, thanks, John Laurinaitis. Thanks, John Laurinaitis. Hey, Sid, you know what you should do tonight in the match? What? How about a leg drop? Huh? Yeah, from the second rope, so it's at least not the top rope. I think it'll be great.
I've never done that.
Hey guys, it's time for the main event. Let's all gather around the monitor and watch this shit. Oh fuck, he broke his leg.
Jesus.
All right, well I gotta go to the bathroom now.
I'll be in the town of ice relations for.
I'll be in the town next over to Don't find me. It wasn't my fault. He wanted to
my brother an animal. You know.
Yeah, so just fuck John Laurinaitis, by the way.
Probably would have waited for Sid to come back. He definitely
he was never the same again after that.
No, but I think I'd hold on at least just to kind of see. What else? Who else? Yeah, I'd keep Lance Storm in the mid-card position. I would probably, thinking belts, I'd have the world title, US title, tag titles, and the hardcore title probably be my belts. I wouldn't keep the TV title.
If I were booking specifically only for me, Lance Storm would be my top guy.
How do you book that, though? What do you do?
I book him
He's in Team Canada right now. So you've got Mike Awesome, you've got Alex Skipper, and you got Lance Storm in Team Canada. How are you breaking that up? The two then get Lance Storm the main event. Because Mike Awesome at this point was just a fat chick thriller and that 70s guy, and then became a Canadian.
Jim Duggan. Can we get rid of him too?
Yeah, Jim Duggan too.
Also, out of none of you have mentioned, and I'm kind of surprised. Maybe I get an opinion of it. Chronic.
Meh.
Yeah.
I always liked Brian Clark as Wrath. I wouldn't try to make him regress in a position. Like, I would never want a character to go backwards as a gimmick. But they were never really guys to stand out for me personally.
Okay. Because they were a big part of that late era.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of names that haven't been brought up yet that are like, what are we doing with these people? You brought up Lance Storm. I was going to say no one brought up Team Canada. Lance Storm kind of did go under my radar for a few seconds there, but I would have Lance in the upper.
Just stare me in the face beside Conan.
I would have, yes. Just mean mugging Conan and then Lance Storm with the deadest eyes
ever. Oh my god, he's staring daggers, bro.
Yeah, right into my soul. He's like, you bitches forgot about me. I would definitely have Lance up in. Honestly, if I got Fusion, what are we looking at? What timeline are we looking? June. I
mean, you can look at whatever you want at this point. From what Eric Bischoff said, he wanted to shut WCW down and go black in like February. And they said, no, we can't do February because we've got advertisers saying we're paying you for March. And so they had to do March. So, but he was going to shut down Super Brawl Revenge. So you can go, you can stop there. You can start like the week before.
I'm looking at 5 months after the reboot. Lance Storm is my world champion.
Really? I would have kept that belt. If I start, let's say I start the week before Night of Champions, because that's the one WWE booked. They already owned them at that point. So you go into that show, I would have kept the belt on Steiner, and I would have gave Steiner at least a year run. Because that belt had been fucked around so much that you need to... Personally, I feel you need to establish the belt means something. So when he loses it, oh shit, Steiner held this for fucking 16 months. Hell, then at that point you can put it on Lance Storm. Because at that point you would have probably... Who you beating? I mean, fuck. Put him against feud against... Who are you making him? Lance Storm heel or face?
I gotta go with... See, I'm going with a double turn here, because I think Steiner, as a babyface, is just as money as him as a heel, because it's the same person. Mm-hmm. It's the same person. Nothing changes. And I think a perfect catalyst to a over big-muscled, loudmouth is the technical, soft-spoken Lance Storm.
If you could be serious for a moment.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So you're doing double turn, so Lance is going to be your heel and Scott's going to be your face at that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and Booker is still there.
Well, fuck. Break them up. Break up Team Canada. Boom. Fuck it. We're done. Lance Storm says, fuck this shit. I need to go out on my own. We're done. Have him feud with fucking Mike Awesome. Have him feud against... have a match with Mike Awesome. They probably put on a pretty decent match. And have him wrestle Elix Skipper.
That'd be great.
Imagine that match.
That match would be awesome.
Right? And he's heel. And then you gotta get him up there, right? You can't just all of a sudden he's wrestled Elix Skipper and then he's gonna work Scott Steiner. It's just not gonna seem believable.
No, I'd have him go into something with Booker, maybe.
Booker? Okay.
Or maybe he goes into something with Sting.
That's what I was thinking.
Another big rub, because Sting always likes doing that for these guys. Him and Billy Kidman, I think would be really good.
That would have been a good matchup for sure. And you can make it so that elevates Billy Kidman up your card as well, because Lance is going to take care of him. If you say Lance, fucking put on a good match for him.
If there's one person on here with a glaring, like in my face, like, what are we doing with this guy? It's Goldberg. Because at this time, they had already turned him heel, turned him back face, turned him heel again, and then said, no, that heel turn was a work shoot, brother. I'm like, what are we doing with Goldberg?
I'm booking a fucking fake injury angle where someone who you want to build up takes him out for a while, have him go away for at least 6 months. At least
he went
6
away.
Months.
He disappeared after
I know this
Super Bowl Revenge.
Well, this is how I'm doing it. Like, he does go away again.
Because he was hurt at that time.
Yeah.
He's gone again, fuck him.
And then he comes back, and he's reinvigorated, he's pissed off as fuck, and he starts killing people again. That's the only way you can book Goldberg. It's the only...
I believe
anything else you do with Goldberg does not work. Because he does not have that range.
Honestly, I would just make...
Undertaker.
I would just make Flair the GM.
That'd be smart.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep him as a mouthpiece in the back, have him pop in here and there, because he's always a good pop. Have Arn maybe be like his sidekick. Keep him out of like the actual wrestling. I mean, he can wrestle here and there when he wants to. It's Ric Flair. But no, like, I'm the leader of the Magnificent Seven stable or any of that. No more giant factions fighting factions.
Yeah.
Little factions can fight other little factions, like the Misfits and like the Filthy Animals. Like, that's fine, Team Canada. No more 18-man stable against 18-man stable. It worked once for them with the NWO, and they were never able to replicate it again, whether it was the New Blood or the Magnificent Seven or any of the other stupid NWOs that they tried to do. It never worked. So I'm scrapping that whole shit. I'm scrapping all that shit.
I book Goldberg. Fuck. So he's out Super Brawl. I would keep him out for a bit. And I wouldn't let him, when he comes back, whenever it is, if it's fucking 6 months or whenever it is, it'd probably be about 6 months. I don't want to keep him out for a year, because then people are totally going to forget about him. It's 6 months. And then have him come out and he doesn't talk. He just fucking spears and kind of make him a tweener. Just whatever. Just fuck it.
Fuck
spear you,
fuck
you're
people
dead.
up.
You're dead. You're dead. Flair's like, you can't just keep killing my
He doesn't-
guys,
he
for
doesn't
fuck's sakes, if you're my
fucking-
general manager.
No, he doesn't fucking give a shit. You're dead. You're fucking dead. You're dead. I'm killing anyone who's in my fucking way.
And if I'm looking at like, all right, well, we need a monster to stop him. I'm either looking
Lance
at
Storm.
I'm either looking at the guy. I'm either looking at the guy I'm bringing in Rhino,
Ooh.
or I'm thinking Mike Awesome.
That would have been
Yeah.
And eventually, I also think down the line, Sean O'Hare and Goldberg.
You can build
Oh,
them up
hell yeah.
right.
Absolutely.
Goldberg,
Well,
I'd
like,
fucking
There's
nothing.
still a
No
lot to
who's
do with
next.
Goldberg.
No streak. Nothing. Just fucking plow people over. One,
He
two,
doesn't,
three.
he doesn't want the
rawr,
broken-
and then
he's
leave.
like, I had the belts, don't need that shit.
He had a belt, or
No,
he had the U.S. belt.
he had
He
the
only
US
won the world title once in WCW.
Yes.
That's fucked. But you can say that he would be plowing people over.
But if I'm looking at it, that's my W. And everybody else that I haven't mentioned are doing undercard stuff, doing midcard stuff, filling out the roster,
Yeah.
like the
Who gets
FBI, like the FBI are doing that. The Young Dragons, 3 Count, Chronic. So there's your tag team division. You know, Filthy Animals. I would keep Shane and Buff Bagwell together as a tag team. I thought they worked well together.
Considering what you know now, and considering how well you saw them work together, based on what you know now, do you put AJ and Daniels as a tag team?
Do they know each other at this point yet?
I think so.
Well, all right. If that's the case, what are you doing with Air Paris?
Who the fuck is Air Paris?
AJ's tag partner. AJ's
No, I know
tag
who he
partner.
is. I'm just saying, the fuck is he?
Well, we don't know who he was because WCW got shut.
He would have just floated around with AJ in that cruiserweight tag team division, and I don't think he would have been able to get over.
I think AJ, for what we know in hindsight, like at the time, I mean, like, yeah, he's got a lot of work before
He's green. He's very green.
like before he's even ready to be hitting like the U.S. title. Like he's got at least another year in. Like the in-ring work is great, but even in early days of TNA, look, they had to give him Vince Russo as a mouthpiece. They had to give him Jeff Jarrett and Raven, like people that were able to carry him at least on the mic.
Right.
And this is still WCW. This is still brand and TV. You know, promos are still going to matter. I think AJ is not there yet, and he's not going to be there for a bit. But once he is, yeah, him and like, throwing him in there with like Lance Storm, throwing him in there with Billy Kidman. Jesus Christ, yes.
And especially for
throwing him in, fucking AJ Styles and Ray.
and especially if we're thinking like later down the line and
That
keeping
time.
WCW going, and then the whole influx of like Ring of Honor and other indie talent, like Joe starts to come in during this time, and fucking Sabin and Loki and
The crazy part is those things might not happen.
That's true.
Maybe let Jeff Jarrett go and then be like make him form TNA so you can get some of these guys. But like, I don't think Ring of Honor's there. I don't think TNA is definitely not.
Well,
there.
EC. Well, if ECW's gone, then Ring of Honor, I would think, would be there.
I think CZW would be there. Actually, well, XPW would be there.
Oh yeah, Rob Black.
I think if ECW, the thing is, if ECW doesn't die, I don't think any of the other, most of the other places don't exist.
Well, we're going off the assumption WCW is living, ECW is still dead.
Okay, so then
ECW dies.
I think Ring of Honor.
There was no fixing that. No Fusion was
Yeah,
coming to
there's
buy
no,
Paul
yeah,
Heyman.
there was no, like, this, the Fusion situation here was they did the Time Warner thing and Warner was like, fuck the wrestling.
Well, then
ECW situation was Paulie had no money.
Yeah, well, I think Ring of Honor, CZW, all those other places are still coming into play here, and I think we're going to get an influx of indie talent that could.
Well, what ROH debuts the same year as TNA, right? 2002.
2002, yeah.
So yeah, you're looking at Nigel, D-Bry, Joe, Loki, Xavier, Austin Aries.
Oh,
again, a lot of smaller guys that eventually would
But-
make a bigger splash.
All that talent.
The question though is, does WCW end up going down that TNA path where it's like the small guys matter more than the big guys when you're dealing with people like Nash and DDP? Well, maybe not DDP, but Nash, and we're keeping Sting around, and he's going to cost money, and Steiner's going to cost money, and Booker, and we still got Animal. He's probably costing money, and Goldberg and Jeff Jarrett. Like, are they going to be like, all right, the small guy, that's what we need now. We're going to push that, and the big guys are going to take the back seat. How does that all play out? So are we saying, do we really need the ROH people in this? I don't think so. I think the ECW talent enough can fill out this roster to get it back to something it once was.
Well, that was just a hypothetical. I wasn't like, it doesn't exist. Of
I think
course
you are right,
now.
though, that Ring of Honor still happens if WCW is still in business. Just from what I'm reading, Ring of Honor, like, the videotape guy, whatever the fuck his name was, had all the ECW shit, and he was, like, the biggest selling... What did I just read? So I think Ring of Honor does happen.
Because Ring of Honor is supposed to be the spiritual successor to ECW.
Yeah. April 2001, Professional Wrestling Distributing Company, RF Video, needed a new promotion to lead its video sales when the bestseller ECW went out of business, and WWE purchased the assets. There we go. So then they tried to join CCW, and he just makes his own fucking company. Says, fuck it. Woohoo! Okay.
Well, yeah, because CZW's been around since '99.
Bastards.
And then at that point, the CZW, some of the CZW guys you're looking at, Sanjay Dutt's in there. Jigsaw, a young Jigsaw.
Oh god, don't even get me fucking started on the Chikara guys. And then it was going to be all
Like,
different
there's a lot of
because
up-and-coming talent that I feel like would... Where people like Storm, and people like Kidman, and I think Ray Ray eventually, and...
Player
You
Uno.
know, you know, some of these other some of these other cruiserweight guys, I feel like eventually they get, like Shane Helms for sure, I feel like, they get the bump to the mid-card, and all these indie guys, they're going to be your new cruiserweights. We still have Thunder, right?
You got whatever you want. I
Alright,
think
I'm making
Bischoff is going
Thunder-
to do one show.
Alright, if we're sticking with the Bischoff, like, mindset then, I'll keep it one show. Except, I think I would bring back Saturday night, make it a 45-minute episode, and put like every week you get a cruiserweight match, maybe something in the hardcore division, and something maybe on the mid, showcase the undercard and the mid card, so that people are aware of them. Keep the big names for Nitro, so that obviously it's Nitro, it's your flagship. So I'm bringing back WCW Saturday night as a mid card type act. Some promos and all that jazz. People loved Saturday night. It's something people wish WWE still kind of did. This like almost variety-esque, like little weekend show. So yeah, I'm doing Saturday night. I think I've hit my limit on everything that I need. Yeah, I've hit my limit. I'm done.
Yeah, me too.
I think I can dig it up more, but I don't think I can talk anymore about it. I think I'm kind of burnt out on that now.
So there you go. Tell us, fans that are watching this, what would you do if you had the rings to control WCW? But you completely end up like Fusion and say, fuck this shit? Or would you actually try to keep it alive? Or would you maybe buy it and sell it off? Or would you completely change WCW and turn it into something completely different? You let us know. Sound off in the comments or wherever else you can catch this. Maybe Facebook or something.
Alright, now that that's done, let's finish things off with our AEW Dynamite.
Oh, is it that time? That's Dynamite. It's Cody Rhodes, Dusty's my dad.
No.
Dynamite. Cage match. Dynamite.
Congrats on his new baby, by the way, Cody Rhodes.
Oh, congrats on the new baby. Dynamite.
Light the fuse!
Well,
Light the fuse. Bring the boom.
Good
Kevin
God.
James.
Jesus Christ, I gotta cut you off because you will go on forever. Dynamite took place, Daly's place, you know where we are at this point.
Last Friday night Dynamite. It's the last Friday night Dynamite. Until this week's Saturday night Dynamite, and then we're back to Wednesdays, baby.
Mm-hmm. Thank
Thank
God.
God.
Fuck.
Jesus.
Thank fuck.
I'm so sick and tired of the Fridays.
I would have been fine if the Friday Dynamites were at 8 o'clock still. It's
They're
the
not
fact
going up
that they're at
against
10 o'clock.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
I don't watch that anymore.
Well, let's start off by talking about what happened first on the show, which was, of course, the big MMA cage fight between Jake Hagar and Wardlow.
I'm going to let you know right now, Zaya. The two people you have right now, you're in the minority. I really liked this.
I don't care. This is so stupid.
I really
Okay.
liked this.
Are you two MMA fans at all?
Yeah, to an extent, yes.
Yes.
I was like insulted with that.
Oh, absolutely. If you were a real MMA
Oh.
fan, you were insulted by this. But if you're a wrestling fan, this shit was
This
great.
was MMA for wrestling fans.
It's
This was like
exactly
a commercial sports entertainment art.
Listen,
is what
I'm
this
giving
was.
them. I'm gonna give them props. The whole like MMA cage, like
Yes.
I'm giving them props. They went out. It's one thing I'll give AEW that WWE used to do is they're trying new things. They're doing things that are different that you don't see on TV every week. Like this is akin to the Lion's Den back in WWF. Like, and I got to give AEW credit all the way. Even like the exploding death match and all that for all the woes that happened there. They're trying shit different that has never been seen on major U.S. wrestling in either ever or in a very long time. And I give them props for that. And this was not the full 15 minutes that I thought it was going to end up being. This was like 7 minutes. The crowd was hot for it like the entire time. Wardlow's popping out Hurricane Ranas and power bombs into the cage. Hager still ends up winning to keep him, his MMA thing like still solid. I don't know what you don't like about this.
Okay. All right, Zahir, do you want to go?
I will go real quick because
Okay.
I stated last episode, that all they needed to do, because this whole thing exists in real time. It's called Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. All they had to do was watch Bloodsport and take inspiration.
But that's not
from
what
that.
they were trying to be.
It's
They wanted
supposed to be an MMA cage fight. What were they trying to do here, Adam?
Yeah, but Bloodsport isn't an MMA cage fight. It's more bare knuckle
work,
brawl and
shoot.
like.
It's work.
Yes,
shoot,
it's work shoot, but like they were clearly trying to do like a UFC Bellator type deal here, but it's wrestling, and I don't see the complaint here. I thought it was executed all very well.
Let's
For once, I actually liked Hager in something.
Well, let's first take on the issues of Wardlow's strikes, which completely took me out of this whole fucking thing.
He's not a
so
striker.
The whole thing. At first, I didn't hate it. At first, I didn't hate it. I was like, okay, here we go. Like they were doing the whole hokey, like tough guy bullshit. Like there's obviously pro wrestling stuff, involved in it, which you would expect, of course. It's a pro wrestling company. And then you get reminded real quick on, like, man, this whole scenery looks awesome. Like, why don't they, do this more often, And then you look at Wardlow and you see the way he starts going in on his strikes and his punches, and it's like, oh, that's why they don't do this often. Because it sucks!
But clearly they can do good, because like you brought up Bloodsport. There's people in Leo Rush did a Bloodsport, and I was like, the hell here? Like, I feel like this is a gimmick they could do again with other people.
Yeah, but can the other people be actually well versed in at least some kind of mixed martial art?
Here's what pissed me off, because I've been watching MMA since before it like blew up. I used to get fucking bootleg VHS tapes of Pride from Japan, and like I want to say like 04 maybe, even earlier. Let me see. When did The Ultimate Fighter start? Because I remember going into watching The Ultimate Fighter, which aired in 2005.
I was about to say, that was aired in, 05.
That's when a lot of people jumped in. So I started watching that because I said, oh, this is like Pride. I'm going to watch The Ultimate Fighter. And so I've been watching this shit for a long time. I've got Jake Hager's a fucking amateur wrestler. They threw it out there 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And the first thing you want to do is Wardlow a striker? Is Wardlow a ground guy? You don't know what the fuck Wardlow is.
They never mention it.
Yeah, but
I think they mentioned judo once.
I feel like you guys are really harping on it. I don't think they were trying to be real MMA here.
But if you want to tell that story, for me, it's Jake Hager should fucking have take him down to the ground right away. I'm a wrestler. I'm gonna fucking wrestle you. I beat people with my submission move. You know what I mean? That's what he should have did right away. That's his strength.
Plus, he's more experienced already inside of the vid, so it would have made sense that he'd already had the advantage on Wardlow.
Right, so that's one thing that at the start I'm like, he's fucking squaring up with him and he's just kind of walking around like, this is fucking you should be taking him to the ground right now. Take him to the ground, maybe Wardlow slips out, Jake Hager's kind of coming back to his feet and Wardlow gives him a good shot and kind of rocks him. Oh shit, now he's kind of like, oh, what the fuck do I do? And so you can kind of tell it that way. That was one thing that took me in. The other thing is, anytime someone threw a punch and it quote-unquote connected, they all step back. Like, I hit you.
Yeah.
And that's not what would have happened. If someone fucking gives you a jab to the face and you kind of stumble, I'm fucking pouncing on you.
And also...
that's just...
Oh, go ahead.
It's just another thing that kind of like... As someone that's watched MMA, and it's like, fuck Christ, like, get on him. For out loud.
Also, if I could just, to make this whole thing better, if you wanted to do the whole wrestling aspect of this, that's fine, because there's a way you could have done it with the whole pro wrestling aspect. You could have done it with, the first few minutes of the match, being that Wardlow is not experienced, and Jake Hager is, could have easily made the whole thing he's got the advantage early on. He knows what he's doing, he's had MMA fights, well, this is literally Wardlow's first time. So you have Jake taking him down to the mat a bunch of times, wrestling him down, doing all that. He's getting a bit cocky, and then, maybe once in a while, Wardlow will start to get a little dirty. You know, he starts stomping on the toes. Maybe he accidentally hits a low blow on Hager. You know, that's
oh my god.
And that's how...
Sorry, speaking of which, Hager's not 3-0. Hager is 3-0-1.
Yeah, this...
Because he kept punching a guy in the dick.
Which would have been a great callback if they actually went through with that. I know!
Yeah, but he's the face.
Well, okay! No, I'm talking about Wardlow punching him in the dick!
Oh, yeah, that would have been fun.
Just once, and then you've got to stop the fight and let them kind of regroup.
Yeah.
But Jake Hager's like, don't fucking bring up the fact that I lost that. I got a no contest fight over dick punches. But 3-0? No, you're 3-0-1. You're 3-0-1.
I thought there was a much better way they could have told this story inside of an MMA cage fight where it could have looked real enough, but not totally real, but still be in the realm of in wrestling. Instead, I got a shoot Hurricane Rana from fucking Wardlow and Jake Hager doing the most ridiculous fucking jump off the cage Superman punch.
That was awesome.
Not only that, but Jake Hager, or Wardlow was pushing up against the cage, kind of whip him. Like he did an Irish whip him. He had to push him to do it. You think that's awesome? Watch a fucking real MMA fight. That shit's actually happened other than the Hurricane Rana.
Listen, I know. Listen, I'll watch a UFC fight, a Bellator, Pride, whatever, and I know what I'm getting into. And I know it's not going to be this. And I know I'm going to enjoy that for what it is. You know, give me Don Fry and Takayama any day of the week. Give me Forrest Griffin and, I can't remember his name, and Stephen Bonner any day of the week. But I know what I'm getting into in this. And it's exactly what I got from it. It's wrestling MMA. It's, if you hate on this, what is your opinion on the Lions Den? Because it's the same fucking thing.
I did go back and actually watch the Lions Den for this because I'm thinking, what else other shoot? I'd rather watch Brawl for All than watch that MMA fight again.
Look, NXT recently brought back this whole the reimagined version of the Fight Pit, which of Lions Den, which was the Fight Pit, as I just said, where it's just
what did you like that?
Yeah.
Oh, right, what the hell? It's just as like
No,
this.
it's not, because they're not pretending that this is MMA.
Matt Riddle is doing floating bros off the top of a cell in an MMA fight. You're okay with
Exactly.
that?
It's a fighting pit. It's not like they're not saying, "Oh, it's an MMA rules fighting, what the fuck ever." It's just a fighting pit. You go in there, you beat the shit out of each other, and it can still be the fucking basis of professional wrestling.
Okay. If you take away, if they would have just said this is an MMA cage match, and then this match happens the way it goes, are you fine with that, or is it specifically with the fact that they state MMA rules? Because if that's the case, all they got to do next time is just not say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just say that it's just a fight.
Yeah.
Like, just say this is a fucking fight in a cage, and I'll be fine.
But they ran with it because of Hager.
Hager's whole MMA background.
Hager wins with he hits a choke slam, and he wraps Wardlow up in a choke.
God.
He wins the match in the second round.
But that's how you knew the finish was going to be, because that's how he beat everybody else.
And then he
in the
flipped
MMA
off.
world.
He flipped off Jericho before he passed out, and oh my god.
They were gonna. It looked like Hager was gonna go for a fist bump, and then Sean Spears, by the way, the best fight manager you can ask for. Fuck that Chris Jericho guy. You need the real Canadian god in based Sean Spears.
Jesus.
Out there assaults Wardlow from behind, and then Sammy comes in, and MJF shows up, and you know how this is gonna go until Dean Malenko is back.
Yeah,
And he gets popped in the jaw.
punched a man with Parkinson's disease.
For a guy that they said who has Parkinson's, this motherfucker's bump was so good. The way he took that shot from MJF, I don't know. I saw it. I'm like, fuck, that was a good bump.
It's Dean Malenko, one of the best.
That well.
I was just surprised that they'd actually do it, because wow. I'm very surprised.
Well, I guess I wasn't in. I guess I was on the island of his own.
I
didn't like
if you take the MMA thing out of it and made it a cage fight, I would have been perfectly fine with
Basically, make it be a Lions Den without it being a Lions Den.
Fight
Because I went back and I watched Owen Hart versus Ken Shamrock after this.
Fight pit.
And I was like, fuck, this is way better. And then they were doing moves and shit, and I'm like, see, this doesn't seem as bad. Because it's a Lions Den.
It's a line. It's its own thing, because it's still in the...
Before we move on, would you like to see this again if the rules were tweaked?
Yes. Absolutely.
I would like to see less of that circling and striking bullshit. If you're gonna do it, do the fucking Don Fry gimmick. Go at each other and just fucking start slamming each other's faces to start it off. You can do it work. Like, you know how to work it. And just don't call it an MMA fight, because you can't fucking hurt a guy in a fucking MMA fight and have it be successful. You jump in my fucking face, I'm just gonna slam you to the fucking ground in a powerbomb. Get the fuck away from me. And then I'm gonna punch you in the face when you're on the ground.
Well, after this match, we're gonna head backstage to Team Taz.
Ooh.
Yes, Team Taz. Oh, you want to go?
I'll do the promos this week. Taz pretty much being like, Team Taz is fine, bro. Nothing's going wrong here. We all good in the hood. As Brian Cage and Hook continue to just stare daggers at each other, and Ricky Starks also continuing to feel like, what the fuck, bro? Why
Brian
can't I
Cage
do
wasn't in
anything?
this one.
No, he wasn't. You're right. Sorry.
No,
I was thinking of last week. He shows up though.
So I'll do this. So basically, Taz is all like, "All right, Ricky, what the fuck is going on with you and Brian Cage?" And it's all like, "You two need to get this shit together, because we're supposed to be a team." And Hobbs is like, "Look, Taz, I joined this team because they're supposed to be. I'm supposed to put trust in these guys, but I was left by all three of you guys during my tag team match. So what the hell is going on?" And he's like, "Hobbs, I got you. I'm gonna pay you back for that." And Taz pretty much said,
"You got Hangman on Saturday."
Yeah, you pretty much pays him back by giving him Hangman Page in a singles match on Saturday. So that.
And then Hook just chewing his gums, staring at me
Yep.
for some reason. I don't know what I did to piss off Hook, but he would not stop looking at me.
But Team Taz in turmoil.
know.
I don't know what
We'll
that.
see where that goes.
I don't know
Wait, I
what
don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I'm predicting probably Brian and Ricky at All Out or one of the Fighter Fest shows, or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I think is
but
the next
then-
one.
But then up next is if arguably one of the best handicap matches I've ever seen.
Yeah, they did a good job.
That list isn't very big.
The list is
but
not very big. It's not
Yeah,
very
this-
big, but
this
this match was really fun.
It was pretty good. And you could basically just thank Darby. What he's talking about, the match we're talking about, of course, being Darby Allin taking on the Men of the Year. Now, of course, Darby said, "Fuck you guys! I don't need a partner. I don't even need
Yeah.
Sting. I'll take
I don't
you
even
on."
need Sting.
Sting,
Old man, stay home,
fucking
old man.
stay home. No,
Stay
don't. Just stay home. Just don't go anywhere. So that's exactly what Sting did. So Darby has to face Scorpio Sky and Darby and Ethan Page in this handicap match, and they whoop the shit out of Darby Allin.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Fucking
They abused this boy almost essentially. They tossing him around left and right. Page just walloping him. He's laying it in. Obviously, it continues the story between the two of them. Darby just knows how to sell
he does
very well. He made these two look like $1 million in this match.
So this goes on. Darby at some points fights back. He goes after. He gets all of his signature offense in on both Page and Sky at one point. He fights back as much as possible.
The ending
near
here
near the end,
amazing.
there's like
this ending was
Page
fantastic.
Page sets him up. He was looking for something. Darby fights him off at first. Scorpio then causes this distraction on Darby. That gives Page enough time to go back up top. He hits a sick looking Ego's Edge off the top down to the canvas. Darby dies. Men of the Year win. And Darby's dead. He's just lying lifeless on the canvas. So safe to say this was not a smart idea from Darby.
Well, before that, though, I was going to say my favorite point of this was actually Darby zip tying Ethan's feet.
Oh my god, I
Where did he get
remember
the zip tie?
Yeah, where did that come from?
I was like, did I look away for 2 seconds? That thing's fucking huge. Where did
Nope.
they get that?
He, all out of nowhere, just Darby pulled out a zip tie and just launches Ethan out of the ring and then just starts going at it with Scorpio. It hits that awesome stunner that he still doesn't have a name for.
It
Off
needs
and
a
drum.
name.
And then, of course, the ending, as Zahaya made clear, where the Men of the Year won, which needed to happen. I was kind of worried for a second that Darby was going to win. And I meant the Paige and Cassidy, Paige and Sky desperately needed a victory within this feud. This was a perfect way to do it. Darby still looks like $1 million coming out of this because he gave it his all. It just too much was too much for him. So
Overwhelmed
this
by two guys.
feud will continue. Don't know where it's going.
Yeah.
That's my only issue right now. Is this the end of it? Is this over? Are we getting a Scorpio Sky and Sting match?
My brain says there's eventually going to be a singles match between Ethan Page and Darby Allin, because that seems to be where it's headed. Is that where it's going to end is the question. Is that the end game to all of this? Is Darby versus Ethan singles match? And I'm not entirely sure.
So, that seems to be an issue. I've noticed with AEW to a slight extent is sometimes these mid-card feuds either don't go anywhere really, or it takes a long time to get somewhere. And I'm starting to feel like this is one of those where, at least when the Team Taz and Darby thing was going, like we had a clear ending. This one, on the other hand, like they did the tag match at Double or Nothing already. Where are we heading? Nobody has a title.
I don't know. I honestly
I don't know
can't answer that question.
I don't know.
But all in all, I mean, a fun match. Just
I thought this was
where does it go? Where does it go?
Yeah.
The next match also very fun. Freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy taking on Caesar Bononi with the Wingmen.
Oh my God! What the fuck is this gimmick?
Oh, they're the Wingmen. They're
what are they?
They're wingmen. They're like we're guys who go out on the. They're a bunch of problematic swingers, and they're called the Squad. And they go out and they try to get the ladies because they're the ladies' men. JD Drake and Peter Avalon and
Wingman is, but
and of course Dolph Ziggler's more talented and actually used right on TV. Brother Ryan Nemeth and Caesar Bononi, who is actually, I made it very clear. Regardless of his loss in this match, spoilers, he loses to Orange Cassidy in a very fun match for what it is. This is a kind of feud that I think is going to do very well once Rampage is around. This is an inconsequential feud. It gets everybody on TV. It's getting the Wingmen on TV. Like it's one of my favorite things about AEW is the Wingmen started as really didn't start as anything. It was Peter Avalon and Caesar Bononi were in the crowd, and they were like, let's put them together. And then Nemeth shows up, and then JD Drake shows up, and they're doing Dark and Elevation stuff, and now they're on TV. And it's my favorite thing is that AEW doesn't just forget about you. It's not like, oh, you're only a Dark person, and that's the only place you'll ever be. Everybody gets a chance to be on TV and have something going for them. And what better feud than two comedy teams involved, the best friends, as we know, they're great, and the Wingmen, for all they are, they're also very great. JD Drake is a very good wrestler. Peter Avalon, also very good. Ryan Nemeth has proven himself to be decent as well, and Caesar Bononi, I feel like, is a talent that NXT had for 4 years. He had like 2 televised matches in his whole life, and now he's on TV frequently enough. Again, even in Lost, still coming out looking good because he was a monster in this one against Orange Cassidy. I don't think again, nothing wrong in my mind with something like this for a little life breath. And the crowd still loving it. And Peter Avalon after the match, like coddling Caesar Bononi in his arms as he like screams, as like the best friends like stand over him to do like the big hug. Great shot.
You really love just steamrolling through my entire fucking segments, don't you?
I mean, you never tell me to stop.
Fucking, what am I supposed to do? Alright, so basically, I don't know what this fucking gimmick is. So,
I don't either.
They're the Wingmen! I already said what they are! Okay, they're a bunch of problematic, single men.
Orange Cassidy fights Caesar Bononi, and the whole thing with the Wingmen is like, they want to beat the shit out of you, but they also want to make you pretty. So during this match,
like, Orange Cassidy, you look like a schlub.
Caesar Bononi is constantly beating the shit out of Orange Cassidy and would roll out of the ring, and then fucking Nemeth and Peter and JD Drake would brush his hair, and they put fake spray tanner all over his body, look gross.
You need comedy gimmicks in wrestling, and these guys are great at it.
But what's the comedy here?
The comedy is that there are a bunch of, like, you clearly know that these guys are not all they're cracked up to be. They're not, like, the men of the year. They're not, like, on GQ magazines. They think they're the sexiest fucking dudes in the world, and that's their gimmick. They're, like, vapid, like, Hollywood type, like, swingers that think they get the ladies all the time, and, like, Orange Cassidy, because, it's like, it's funny. I get it. It's funny.
Look, alright?
They're the Wingmen.
I love my comedy wrestling, alright? I as much as people think I like the more serious side, I do enjoy the aspects of comedy wrestling. However, when I compare this, and when I compare this to the Omega promo, to what I just saw, there are 2 different forms of comedy that I seem to like. This,
obviously, like, not all comedy doesn't have to be the same.
Maybe.
There's not just one brand of comedy. People like Adam Sandler comedies, people like Will Ferrell comedy, people like, Tina Fey comedy, or you like an animated comedy. This comedy is a universal thing. There are different kinds. Dark comedy, this is a kind of comedy that I think is very entertaining.
this seemed like Adam Sandler comedy. I enjoy it.
Yeah, but like it's like I said, it's inconsequential. It's not hurting anybody. It's getting 4 guys on TV frequently, which is a great thing. This is a kind of gimmick that I feel like if it was in the W, people would be hating on it more, and they would be complete jobbers, and they would be only on main event, and all 4 of these guys would be wasted. At least here, they're using them in the right position with the right people. Whether or not you get the gimmick, it's a great use of the talent.
Well,
8 people in this one segment walked out with a paycheck.
Well, they did. And, well, it turns out that Cesar Bodoni really, it probably would have fared better without them at ringside, to be quite honest. Because as soon as they started getting involved, that's when the whole thing went upside down. So Cesar Bodoni's pretty much in control. Cassidy, at one point, gets the ball rolling again, tries to go for a dive on the outside with all the other wingmen outside, but they catch him and put him back in the ring. Then the
Funny.
best... Huh?
It was funny.
Then the best friends come out, and then they do
Chris
this...
Statlander.
And Chris She's a part of the best friends!
Is she officially like a best friend?
Yeah!
Oh, okay.
They
Sorry.
said this, they said the fucking alien sits with them now!
Yeah, I know that, but I don't know if they're like...
Speaking
still, like,
of
it's
which,
best
if you
friends
want more
and
comment,
friends.
then put more fucking best friends segment on the show.
Yeah,
and that,
you're gonna
boom.
get more best friend segments
Boom!
in the feud with the wingmen.
No,
No.
just give me
I
best
don't need
friends.
I don't need
give me,
that.
Just give me best.
No.
Just all I need is best friends, bro.
Give me Chris Statlander trying to get on the camera while she's standing behind Orange Cassidy, like standing off to the side. Like, oh, I'm over here. Make sure I'm on TV. That's what she was doing.
So the whole thing is like Orange Cassidy's getting beat down by the wingmen until the best friends come out, and then once the best friends come out, he starts getting back in control. Nemeth is on the apron at one point. Chuck Taylor distracts him. Boom, orange punch. I think Peter Avalon gets on the apron. Boom, orange punch. JD Dredd tries to go in the ring, tries to clothesline. Orange Cassidy gets booped by Chris Statlander. Boom, orange punch. Cesar Bononi tries to go after Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy hits the stun dog millionaire. Boom, orange punch. 1, 2, 3, victory.
It was simple. It was easy. It was out of the way.
I will say this was it was very simple, it was very easy, and it was quick. So I will give it that. Even though I don't understand it completely. This just seems like if this were anyone else other than the man who was in the World Championship match at your latest pay-per-view.
Well, listen, that, again, yes, he was in that match, but from all accounts, as we know now, he was never supposed to be.
But
You know,
still, this is the same guy that
Yes,
beat Chris Jericho
I get
twice. Didn't even-
Listen, this is the issue I think with Orange that they're running into is that, like, he's a versatile guy that can play all up and down the card. They just gotta, I guess, figure out, once he's done one thing, exactly where he gets pushed in the other position. I get that. But if this is, like, just a little thing for him to do in the meantime with the best friends, I mean, is it really that harmful? He won the match.
It's not harmful,
don't
but
know-
it feels like filler. It feels
they
like
don't
filler.
know what to do with the guy that I'm going, fuck, he beat Jericho. Maybe he should get a TNT title shot. Or fuck, he's in the main event of
This-
Double or Nothing.
Listen,
And then you throw him back down, he's getting hugged again, and it's
There's
like,
a clear...
what am I supposed to do? What am I
There's
supposed
a
to feel?
there's a clear emphasis with this show, last week's show, the show coming up. You know, they're starting, you know, even in here, it's a singles match, but we have factions. And we know that there's these trios belts and they're on the way. They're clearly starting to get you more adjusted with more 6-man tag matches, more of these groups going in and at it, so that when these trios belts come around, people like the Best Friends and the Wingmen and the Dark Order and all the other teams that I can't think of right now will have like an Jurassic Express will have an opportunity to you know already be established as these groups and as these teams we're getting all these crazy 6-man tags lately because they're trying to get us, I guess, more adjusted to, hey, this is going to become a more frequent thing. I think that's going to be a big part of the Rampage show, which we got a little bit of a teaser, by the way, which was really cool. I think that's what something like this is doing, so that, listen, I could see Best Friends as the Trios champions, and then they get to fight the Wingmen, and then the Wingmen get a shot. I feel like this is what they need to be doing with these groups, is that they need to be spotlighting and not just having, oh, here's a random group that's together, that gets no TV time, and does nothing. Ricochet.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
I need fucking wings and not the wingmen. If they delivered me wings, the whole different
So
story.
you get thrown outside the ring by Cesaro there, or whatever the fuck his name
Yes.
is, and it's like they just give you a plate of wings. And
Yes! Jesus
Fake
Christ,
can.
this would be so much better.
I'm sorry, guys. I gotta bounce. Like, it's real late.
All
for me.
right.
I wish I could do the end of this, but I gotta get going. But thank you for having me on.
CJ, tell the people where they can find you real quick.
Twitter at CJ Velvet, Instagram at CJ Velvet. That's the first time I've said that out loud in this community. And my YouTube app is RYCCW. Just search it because I don't have 100 subscribers yet to change my name to RYCCW.
Get them to 100.
If I can get there, then I can do it, but just search up as RYCCW or look up In Your Crib 2 House Arrest. That's me. And it seems to be getting views every time. Awesome, guys. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the show.
All right.
Thank you, CJ, and we'll see you again.
Awesome.
Or hear you again. Get them to 100 people.
So, we continue the night off. We go on to one of my favorite segments of the entire show. We got Marvez getting ready to interview Jungle Boy. But of course, who should be there but to turn the switch, the roles in this whole situation between Marvez and Omega and Callis and Nakazawa
Michael Nakazawa.
come off of a truck. And Kenny's all in a shirt. He's not in his usual suit and tie like he normally is. And
No, Kenny's
like,
in street clothes,
yeah,
and I was confused.
he's in street clothes. And Kenny's like, I know you're probably wondering, why am I in street clothes right now? Why am I not in my usual suit and tie garments? Well, that's because I'm here for a fight. I'm here for a street fight with you, Jungle Boy, because you insulted me last week.
No. He called him Jungle Jack.
Jungle Jack. He said,
He told Jungle Jack, fight me, boy. You will fight me right now, right here, in the parking lot.
He's like, I'm gonna mess up that pretty little face of yours. You're looking at that pretty little face of you. You've probably never been in a fight in your life. Again, all these people on this show is publicly horny for Jungle Boy. And
Yep, JR, Kenny Omega, everyone else, Cody Rhodes, TNT. They want this Jungle Boy to jungle them. I don't know.
Oh my god. So, Jungle Boy's like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. I'll wait until the actual match. And then Omega's like, alright, how about this? How about I give you the first one for free? I give you the first free shot right here, right now. But this is your only opportunity. And you only get one because as soon as you do it, I'm gonna be all up, in his own words, I'm going to be all up in your ass.
Which got a massive chuckle out of me because I was not ready for that.
Holy shit, what?
This is not the only thing tonight. There's like an F-bomb drop later on in the Pride and Powerful promo. Like, oh, TNT is a little wild. Jungle Boy says, you want me to hit you? He looks like he's about to go for it. And then that dastardly Michael Nakazawa with the laptop from behind.
Hits him with the laptop. Jungle Boy goes down. Omega tries to go over there. Starts to hit him. Starts to go for him.
And then, this shit's the best. Jungle Boy goes after. Yeah, like you said, goes after him. And they get on the truck. And Omega boots fucking Nakazawa off like it's the Titanic. And says, nah, you taking him. And Jungle Boy just starts to wail in, but by the time he is done with Michael Nakazawa, Don Callis in the truck, driving away, as Kenny Omega with his best Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget impression, next time, Jungle Boy, next time.
He says, I'll get you. He says, Jungle Boy, I'll get you next week.
as he drives off screen. Great shit. Again, another bit of comedy that I'm enjoying.
Fucking
Also, at the same time, great build towards this match on Saturday, which I'm very excited for.
I can't wait for that match. It's gonna be great. After that though, we got
Big Money Matt
Yeah.
with Alex Marvez. Alex Marvez all over the show tonight.
Matt's pretty much backstage with the what is it called? The Hardy family.
A Hardy family something.
What's the O stand for? Hardy Family Office. That's what it's.
Oh, there you go.
He's basically talking about Christian here. Says Christian needs to stay out of his business, which would then lead to Christian coming in and trying to go after Matt with his entire fucking stable just literally right there. So
Yep, Christian's like, I got this.
it's just like, nah, it's fine. This is 7-1 now. This totally seems in my favor. So he gets like a few shots in on Matt, and then like 3 seconds later, they lock him in a fucking cage.
Yep, they literally locked him in a cage.
Christian got caged.
Matt tells him at one point, I'll write you a check so you can go and retire and spend time with your daughter. And if you keep coming after me, I'm going to end your career permanently. So again, one of the little feuds on this Dynamite that they've been building in the past few weeks that I'm actually really enjoying. I can't wait for Matt Hardy and Christian.
Yeah, I very much want to see how well these two work with each other through all these years. And
Especially off the fact that they've only had 2 singles matches in their whole career, which is kind of baffling.
yeah, it's crazy. After this,
And yep, it's time. It's time for Cody One Kenobi and Brock Lesnar.
No, it's not. Okay, so we got the
What?
tag match between Cody Rhodes and Brock Anderson against
Lesnar.
Brock, the son of Arn Anderson.
The son of Arn Lesnar.
Fuck off. Cody they're taking on the team of QT Marshall and Aaron
Marshall. Gotta say it right.
I said Marshall.
Not Marshall.
I said Marshall.
I know.
I'm cultured.
And Aaron Solo.
Solo. So, my favorite thing about the whole match isn't even about the match itself. It's specific.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I really couldn't pay attention to this match. I paid attention to one thing, and that was Brock, and he barely did anything.
Fucking, so, my favorite, like, the match itself isn't anything special, but the entrance during the match is what got me so good. Because it's Cody Rhodes' entrance, and it's like, here comes wrestling megastar Cody Rhodes, fire pyro, Olympic style music, heavenly background. Here comes Cody all pumped up, and then here's Brock Anderson.
No, it was better than that. It's introducing, here's Cody Rhodes, accompanied by Arn Anderson, and his son, Brock Anderson. Brock Anderson, who's in this match, is the third build. And again, listen, I said it last week, and I was like, hey, I gotta see what's gonna happen when he's got the ring gear on. I'm not impressed. He's his dad. He's his fucking dad. He's Arn Anderson. If Arn Anderson was a lawyer, this guy is. I don't know. Is this what Shape is? Because he didn't have it.
He had a shape. Not sure if it's
interesting shape.
Wrestling shape, but it's a shape.
He also seemed to get winded very quickly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This is very much a case of Cody was the main, like, all fucking Brock had to do is hit his key points, sell for a bit. Cody gets the hot tag, does his shtick, does his usual stuff, give Brock, the glory at the end and we go home. That's what this match was. It's all it was ever designed to be. It was just to show that Brock Anderson was TV ready, and for all intents and purposes, he didn't embarrass himself. However, he didn't do that much. So take it for what you will.
Yep, they win, and that's like about it, really. There is no, there's no aftermath or big Cody Rhodes promo, just in and out. Which, for a Cody Rhodes segment, I'm very happy about.
This is all apparently still leading to their South Beach strap match.
That match will be in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks. 3 weeks. At Road Rager.
Okay. Alright.
They're calling it.
Okay. Well,
after that, we got a Lance Archer and Jake Roberts promo, and Jake pretty much just says, "My monster's pissed off. I can't control him anymore."
He's coming off the chains. You know what you do, and then Archer just
he's a tiger and he's gonna pounce, and then it's just Jake kind of rambling.
This seems exactly like the shit that they did back when he was debuting.
Archer. I don't know what they're doing with Archer.
They need him to do something. They can't just have him go back to what he was doing before.
They hit a kind of fucked up point when they were like, well, we have Miro and he's very over. So's Archer. Well, what do we do? One of them's got to have BT&T and the other ones have got not. And I think if Miro would have lost, it would have hurt Miro more in the long run. I think Archer is able to bounce back from this because he's just got that the presence that is easy to just, he can go out there, do some cool stuff. The crowd's going to always eat it up. Him having Jake always helps. Where does he go? I don't know. We get the trios belts are coming in, so that means we're not getting another singles title for a while. I think Jake and Archer could do with a TNA spell.
Yeah. Or
and
just go anywhere at this point.
And just go to TNA for maybe a couple of tapings and stay off AEW TV for a bit, and then come back refreshed. Because at this point I don't know what we're doing. You're right. It is kind of just reverting back to his old stuff.
It doesn't seem like he's very much progressing anywhere, and they don't know where he's going to progress to. So, yeah, have him on Impact. Have him do stuff there. Have him go up against guys like Moose Morrissey, even, if you wanted to. There's a bunch of guys you could work with there and keeps him off TV for a while, but also you're not wondering, where the fuck is Archer? He's here and he's in a different place.
Or come back. If we're in the situation of we need trios teams, a first team that came into my head that I think would be really cool and I feel like they'd fit the Archer style would be Bear Country.
Oh,
yeah, them, I have them, Bear Country, the Murder Hawk, and the Snake. It's kind of like an animal type deal.
But do you actually think they're going to win the belts? Because that seems to be the reoccurring issue with Archer, where it's
well, if you have that established, then it's something to fall back on. If they're all right, Archer wins the TNT title and then loses it, he's got that to fall back on. Say he finishes up a non-title feud, he's got that to fall back on. I think giving them the belts eventually, if that is an idea that happens, again, not even speculation, just, spitballing.
Mm-hmm.
A team between Archer and Bear Country holding those trios titles and giving them a dominant, no one can stop us type deal until somebody does come along to stop them could work. It's just an idea. I feel because we are going to need some more trios teams once the belts do become a thing and it's not just the same 8 teams. Why not go for something like that?
Right. No, I get you.
And then after that, we got JR with Andrade El Igloo.
No, Black Mask, apparently.
Huh?
He
Oh,
came
you're right,
out
Jesus,
just
yeah.
like fucking Black Mask. The interview was great.
The interview, for what it was Andrade talked in English for a little bit, and then they added subtitles, which
You alright? What happened there? Hello?
oh, sorry, my mic was muted.
What the fuck?
Where did I get left off?
Just go back. Just go back to starting where he was starting the promo.
So, promo was great for all intents and purposes for what it did. His English is not all that great, but I liked the inclusion of the subtitles, which I think, if WWE used subtitles more for their foreign talent, I think it actually does come over well enough. I don't know Spanish that well. I don't know Japanese that well. But watching the Andrade promo and having the subtitles underneath, I can get the emotion and the expressions off of just Andrade alone from his facials and his cadence and his voice. I understand what he's saying, and if I'm reading it, I get an even better feel for it. I'm like, all right, I can get emotionally attached because I know what you're stating and I can see it in the way your body movement goes. So I think the subtitles thing was a great inclusion. He did talk a little bit in English at the beginning, for like really simple like questions, like why are you here? He wants to be champion. He wants to be the Latin god of wrestling or whatever it is. But the biggest takeaway from this is he makes it very clear that him and Vicky have a surprise for us. Is it Zelina Vega?
Well, why would it be Zelina if he's already got Vicky as a manager?
Because I don't know if I mentioned this on the show, but I probably mentioned it off the show and to others. I think Vicky was only brought here as the introduction figure to lead into Zelina coming in.
Well, if that's the case, then that'd be great.
Because I don't know what the other surprise would be. I can't think of it.
If it's Zelina, I'd be perfectly fine with that. I honestly have no idea what else it could be. As far as I know, I don't know if anyone else is signed with the company. So it literally could be. It's literally up in the air for all I know.
But that was that promo. It was very short and sweet and to the point. Andrade wants to be champion. Andrade wants to be the face of Latinos. He appreciates Vicky because she came up with the Guerreros. We have something planned in store, and that was the end of that.
Yeah, did what he needed to do.
Then we get Alex Marvez, and he's interviewing the Hangman and the Dark Order. And so pretty much this all Marvez is like, Hangman, you heard about earlier, Big Willie Hobbs, what's going on? Hangman says, absolutely, let's do this. But that Alex Marvez, of course, got to be the little goddamn weasel he is, and just has to bring up the fact that, hey, Hangman, by the way, you're kind of like second in the rankings right now. Like, what's going to happen when you're like number one and you're going to have to go up against Kenny Omega? And Hangman kind of just says, so how about John Silver, by the way, guys? Isn't he great? Look at him. He's back and everything. And how about Preston? He just won in the main event last week. And then he's like, Evil Uno, even though you lost, we all still love you. The Dark Order picks up Evil Uno on their shoulders. And that's how the segment ends. It's them just Hangman was like, nah, not talking about that right now. We're just talking about the Dark Order instead. And then that's that segment.
Oh, it's coming. It is coming, ladies and gentlemen.
So they're building it, and I think it's going to happen. I do thoroughly think it's going to be Hangman and Omega at All Out.
I mean, it has to be. Like, what else could you... It's like...
I would have thought orange, but clearly that's not where they're going anymore.
No.
So it's got to be Hangman. He's going to win it in front of that Chicago crowd. That crowd's going to go fucking nuts. And it's a great 2-year wrap-up of a story from, he was in Chicago, and he didn't win the belt when he fought Jericho. 2 years later, gets the belt back from Kenny in front of, like, the biggest crowd that they'll probably see since pre-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So, very simple and a very easy segment backstage there, continuing the friendship that the Dark Order and Adam Page have. A little bit of foreshadowing dropped in there by Alex Marvez, and obviously Page accepting Powerhouse Hobbs. That's happening on Dynamite this Saturday. And then after this, we have a pretty enjoyable women's match.
Yeah, after that we get Julia Hart taking on Penelope Ford. It's not her name.
It's Penelope Ford.
Penelope.
Pellegrino. San Pellegrino.
Penelope obviously still Kip Sabian-less because in kayfabe...
I think he's hurt. Is he hurt?
Yeah, I was about to say, in kayfabe-wise, Miro killed him, and non-kayfabe-wise, he is still currently out with an injury. These two have a pretty nice match. I think this is, Julia's first match on TV, so...
This is his first match on TV. She's had a few matches on Dynamite. I'd like to specify, because they specified it, so, it doesn't sound weird here, but yeah, she is a 19-year-old wrestling prodigy, so very young in her career. Again, AEW continuing to be the young people's place to start their careers. I like her whole ordeal with the Varsity Blondes, like she's their cheerleader. She has a lot of energy. Looks like that JoJo Siwa lady.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you want to see it now, won't you?
Oh god!
Yeah.
Why?
She points at her name. Her name is Julia, so at least we know what her name is, so that's always good to know. I like her. She's, again, she's still green, but, she's got the athleticism. That's always nice to see. She put on a nice little back and forth match here with Penelope. I was about to say it again. With Penelope.
This is why you gotta stop.
With Penelope. Penelope is a great hand for a nice young girl like Julia to be going back and forth with. I wouldn't have put her in there with somebody a little bit more established. I think Penelope is the perfect person for that. And they had a nice little back and forth here. Penelope getting the victory. Julia had a few good moments to shine. Obviously, this is all building to what happens after the match, which we'll go into in a few seconds. Nothing bad to say about this one. Just fine little women's match.
Yeah.
And also very nice to see two newer women, even though Penelope's not newer, but not seeing Nyla and Britt and Thunder Rosa and Sheeta every week in a different form of that match. It was nice to see a refreshing new women's match between Julia Hart and Penelope.
Yeah, I thought this was just solid in-ring work from both women. I very much knew that Julia was pretty green. She just stuck to, basic, spots and wrestling moves. So, again, it was like the Brock situation where she didn't mess up anything, but she didn't really have much to mess up. She's
way more charismatic than Brock. I'll give her that much. She's got way more She's got way more personality in the ring and outside of it than Brock.
You don't care for the son of the Enforcer, Adam?
Not at all.
Okay.
And then so Penelope.
I never got to say this, but I'm very glad. Hopefully this is more Penelope TV time because. I think that she had one of Sheeta's best matches when Sheeta was champion. during that time, and I don't think that gets
Yeah, I
talked
think
about.
Penelope doesn't get a lot of credit.
Yeah.
I think she's very good. Obviously, they keep her to the valet more. She does wrestle on Dark and Elevation a lot more, but I like Penelope. I think she deserves to have a nice little run eventually with the belt down the line.
I think she should just be a constant contender at least for the belt, or she's like fighting.
Yeah, no,
for it.
definitely. Well, I do believe this is also her first match back on TV because I believe she's getting back from her honeymoon or whatever she had with Kip. So hope we'll start to see her being used more, especially because Penelope applies a bridging Indian deathlock, which was really fucking cool.
The Moodalock.
So you don't get to see that very often. Julia taps out. That's the end of that. But the whole point of this entire match was for what happened afterwards, because here comes Miro. Miro comes on out and says, "Penelope, where the fuck's your bitch? I can fuck you better than him. How about you? How about you come?
That.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of says that. He comes out. I mean, he pretty much came out and told Penelope, "Hey, where's Kip? Where he be at? Why he be hiding? You need a real man. How about you come with me? I am Miro. I am real man. I am beast. Look at me. I have muscle. Screw Kip Sabian. He suck.
He's God's favorite champion.
Yeah, he's God's favorite champion. I have a hot wife. How about I make you also my hot wife?" That's pretty much what Miro is saying. He wants Kip Sabian. Where's Kip Sabian? He gets into the ring. All of a sudden, he starts, Penelope's out, but, who's still in the ring? It's Griff Garrison checking on Julia. Miro gets all pissed because there's no Kip Sabian, so he takes on the second best thing he can find, a very tall and lanky Griff Garrison, because same person. So he starts beating the shit out of Griff Garrison. All of a sudden, here comes Pillman Jr. with a beautiful springboard clothesline, shades of his beautiful dear old daddy, Air Pillman. They start going at it, and they're brawling, and they're tying it up, and here comes the referees, and I think Jerry Lynn's out there, and they're pulling them apart, and this is all the setup.
Dude, they were really going at it, like Aubrey
really going at it.
Aubrey
I don't know how much of that was
fucking
real.
Crossfire of it.
Yes, he did. Oh, and Aubrey gets knocked down in the background at one point. This was a really good brawl. I don't know how much of it was real. Probably wasn't that real, but they made it real, and Miro's just really good at anything he does, and I like Pillman Jr. a lot. So this sets up a TNT title match on the first Dynamite back in the Wednesday slot on June... No, not that's this week.
It's July.
No, June 30th. Yes, no, June 30th. That is the first Dynamite back on the Wednesday slot. It'll be the last Dynamite hailing from Daly's Place for the foreseeable time as they go back on the road starting in July. Miro and Pillman Jr. All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be fun. It'll be good.
Obviously, still trying to capitalize on Pillman's newfound popularity after the Dark Side of the Ring
I just really
episode.
hope that this is not leading to Kip Sabian winning the TNT title.
That'd be great.
It would be not great.
What would not be great about it?
The fact that I can name 5 other people that could be champion before Kip that would matter more.
Super bad, Kip Sabian.
Yeah, it's a shame that his wife is better. Naming his finisher the Deathly Hollows.
Hey, it's better than fucking Avada Kedavra.
Yeah, well, he's also a nerd.
That man was my world champion. How fucking dare you?
Yeah, well, because there's only one nerd in wrestling, and his name is Cody One Kenobi. Anyway, we move on after that. We're going backstage again.
Kenny literally calls himself Omega Man. Like, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
One Kenobi.
We're backstage. We got Tony Schiavone interviewing Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. But before really, anything can really be said, Britt's kind of just mentioning some stuff. I think she makes a Big Mac reference at one point because that's like her new thing now.
McDonald's.
But here comes here comes Vicky Guerrero. As we know, Nyla Rose is next in line for the women's championship, and Vicky Guerrero is her mouthpiece. So Vicky shows up. Vicky makes it very clear to Britt Baker that because she was able to bring Andrade El Idolo into AEW, she was granted a favor, and that favor is that on the June 30th edition of Dynamite, we are going to see Dr. Britt Baker and Rebel against Nyla Rose, Vicky Guerrero.
Her favor was that she wanted a tag team match.
Yes,
with
because Vicky wants to put a stop.
Instead of calling for a favor for her client to just get a women's championship match.
Yes, no, this is the I've been very positive about this entire show. This was the one thing I did not like.
What the fuck? This didn't make any sense. Why? Why was your one favor? First of all, the fact of the matter that Vicky, of all people, was the one to bring in Andrade is ridiculous enough as it is. But also, the fact of the matter is that they gave you one favor. One favor! Out of everything you could have picked.
Well, it seems like it's because Vicky wants to get her hands on Rebel. Reba.
But you're not even. You could have easily yes, championship match. I want give Nyla a championship.
Listen,
you want that match.
They're clearly saving that match for Fighter Fest.
Fuck.
Whatever. But I guess we have to sit through a Vicky Guerrero match, which the promo ends with Britt and Reba pretty much going, yeah, all right. Sure, we'll see. And they leave, and that's the end of that segment. And so yeah, we're getting that. It's a thing. Whatever. It's not what I would have done with my women's division after having Britt win the belt, but I don't run this company, and I don't have $1 billion. Why? So Tony Khan must know something that I don't know.
Why do they do this to the people I love, Adam? Why do they do it?
Because you but that's about it for that. After that, we get a quick few announcements. The June 30th edition of Dynamite, that's in 2 weeks. Of course, we know we got Miro and Brian Pillman Jr. for the TNT title. Also, we'll be seeing MJF and Sammy Guevara for the first time in a singles match. I'm very excited for that. This Saturday's edition of Dynamite, I do believe only 3 matches have been confirmed. We are getting, of course, Powerhouse Hobbs and Hangman Adam Page. I'm sorry, 3 matches were announced for the June 30th edition, that women's tag match with Vicky. That'll be on that show. Only 2 matches have been really announced for Saturday. Powerhouse Hobbs and Hangman, and of course the big main event, Kenny Omega, Jungle Boy, for the AEW World's Championship. If you want to just go, Jade Cargill has some stupid thing with Mark Sterling. They bought a hotel. She's the baddest bitch. We don't really need to talk about that.
No,
if you want to just go,
yeah, just go. We'll just go to the main event.
If you want to just go into the main event, I'll look and see if they've announced anything else for Saturday.
So it's main event time. We've got, it is a 6-man tag team match. It is Matt Jackson, and the Good Brothers taking on Eddie Kingston, Penta, El Zero M, and Frankie Kazarian. Now, I could have sworn that this was an 8-man. Did something happen to Pac? I
also thought at one point it was an 8-man. But maybe I was wrong.
Because I could have sworn they said it was going to be an 8-man tag, and then it got changed because Pac was nowhere to be seen on the show.
No, he wasn't. But I don't know. Maybe they decided to just do something different. I haven't heard anything if he's injured or any visa problems. Maybe they just decided to not do that, and maybe they want to save that 8-man for something. I can see that easily being the case. I could see that 8-man happening on the last Dynamite in Daly's place type deal. Maybe they wanted to save it to also, with the way that the match ended, it does make sense that it would happen now. after the whole Nick Jackson, he's not there, and then he actually showed up.
So we got Matt, Carl, and Big LG, baby, Big Dangly Doc Gallows coming down to the ring.
I hate it.
Why do you hate Gallows?
I hate it.
What do you mean, dude?
Nope. Nope.
But the thrust kick. The thrust kick.
You know who else does a thrust kick like everyone? It's because they're like, oh, well, I can't do a super kick. I guess I'll just do the thrust kick.
So, we got a very interesting team in the form of Kazarian, Kingston, and Penta. All because, like, all three of these men just going for a complete different aesthetic than the other one. Kazarian's, like, a vengeful, fucking, like, emo. He's going through his, like, AJ Styles TNA 2000, what was it, 13 phase? He's like, everyone turned their back on him, and he's like all emo now. That's basically what Kazarian is. Kingston just, straight
he
up.
He also has a jacket that may or may not have a very suggestive word on it.
Did you get
I don't know if you've caught that
I didn't
on
see it.
Internet, Twitter, but he has a brand new jacket that kind of has a derogative term. I'll see if I can grab a picture and send it.
Okay. Well, Kingston's usually is out in his usual gear. It's like the jumper and the pants, and then you still have Penta in his fucking Joker gear. What is with him in the fucking Joker
gear back? It's awesome. That gear is so sick.
He fucking loves this shit.
Do you see it? It's awesome.
And he also acts a bit pervy as well during this match. Like when he gets inside the ring, he just starts doing weird movements. Like after he kicks people, he's getting a little. It's something's up with Penta right now. I'm just gonna say that, right? But this was an enjoyable main event. Just high, fast paced action. The Bucks just play. It's just Matt and the Good Brother, but they're just playing the over the top heels, as one would say, and Kazarian and Kingston and Penta, they're working over them for a while. This goes on for a little bit. They're working over Kingston for a bit. And then they go to commercial. Kingston gets the hot tag to Kazarian. Kazarian starts running wild on the Bucks and the Good Brothers. He does that fucking... I don't know how he does the... he springboards and then like a slingshot leg drop on Matt, I believe. That looks great. Then Penta gets his turn. He runs wild on the Good Brothers. And the Bucks, he does his signature backbreaker spot. Again, it's just high, fast-paced offense all throughout the match. The ending of this was what really caught me off guard, because it's like Penta hits the backbreaker on Carl Anderson. He's about to go up top. He's about to do something. Nick, with the cold spray, though, sprays him right in the face, knocks Penta off the knocks Penta off the top. Carl Anderson from the top, reverse gun stun for the victory.
Bullshit is this? He was supposed to be there. I was told that he was not supposed to be here. And that dirty Nick Jackson.
Penta gets pinned by the former G1 finalist Carl Anderson, baby.
I like him.
What's wrong? You don't like Big Dangly?
Big Dangly.
Big LG?
Big Dangly needs to dangle himself. He's stupid. Give me Festus back.
So Carl Anderson gets the victory on Penta, which I was not expecting. I was very sure that the Good Brothers were going to eat the pin here. That was not to be the case. They win. I don't know. Are they even on, are they even a part of the rankings, or are they just here to help out the Bucks?
Yeah, no, they're here to help out. They are not official roster members, or do they have contracts? They are literally just a Forbidden Door. So, like, they're winning matches. I don't know what that means. Because, I mean, they've been winning quite a lot of matches.
Yeah.
I mean, so,
I don't know what this entails, or what this could possibly mean at all. But I'm happy. Good brothers. Maybe big LG. Gallows, you already know what it is.
yeah, what it is it's trash.
It's not trash.
It's great seeing Carl Anderson pick up a victory, because he needs to, like, ditch the dead weight and, move on from that guy. They all should, honestly. They won't. And that means I gotta suffer for it. But the main event itself, I enjoyed. These 6-mans that they've been doing lately with the Elite and, like, this ragtag group of AEW defenders or whatever the hell it is. I was skeptical a little bit, because I was like, Eddie, Penta, Frankie. All right, Frankie. And hell, fuck, Frank Kazarian all these years still doesn't look like he misses a beat.
No, absolutely not.
That's crazy. The man, I mean, he's got that, like, never age syndrome, because he looks like literally the same guy I was watching in TNA. So, good for Frankie. It's good to see him doing something.
He might be even more shape than he was back then, which is fucking
absolutely. He's in the best shape of his life right now. But it's great to see that even after the Daniels thing, like, he wasn't just relegated to something that didn't matter. It's good that he is that, the breakup ended up being caused by the Elite, so now he gets to be a part of that as well. Like, again, the synergy of AEW is one of my favorite things. Everybody is somehow connected in some way.
The Elite Hunter, baby. I'm telling you gotta get Yoshi Tatsu on the phone. We gotta get Captain New
Japan. We can end this show now. We don't need to talk about him anymore.
All right.
Yoshi
overall,
Yoshi Tatsu.
Overall thoughts on the show?
Again, I just like last week's episode, minus the whatever the hell's going on with the Britt Baker stuff. And I know you weren't a big fan, neither was CJ, but, like, I enjoyed the MMA cage stuff at the beginning. I thought this was, once again, another quick, easy breezy, Dynamite episode. Everything, to an extent, pretty much had a reason for why it was on there. A few new storylines are building. A few new characters that we don't get to see a lot had some chances to shine. A lot of really good build. What can you ask for in a wrestling show? One bad thing out of an entire 2 hours? For Christ's sake, I get 5 minutes into a 2-hour Raw and I'm already pissed off. So, even if it's at 10 o'clock, that might be my biggest issue, is the time, but they can't control that. But I liked it. Great episode.
I think one of the main problems I've been having with the Friday episodes is it feels like it's not, they know for a fact that they're not going to get a lot of viewers, so they're just padding for time, and they're just building up towards all the main stuff for later, which is fine, and it's great. So maybe more dynamic matches next time around, because this very felt like some of these matches could have been relegated to Dark or even Dark Elevation. And that's not to say that the bad matches were bad. I don't think the importance was felt really tonight. However, everything on this show it didn't go that long. It was short. It was sweet. 2 hours, again, flowing by. Didn't really feel a thing. Wasn't the greatest show, but I can't necessarily say that I had a bad time watching it. There's a lot of stuff I enjoyed. The main event I enjoyed. I even got I got my enjoyment out of Orange Cassidy and Cesar Bononi for what it's worth, and run of the mill episode of Dynamite, but again, still better than a lot of the other wrestling shows you see nowadays.
But yeah, to just a quick update, all announced for Saturday. is Powerhouse and Hangman, Jungle Boy, and Omega. Nothing else has been announced yet, so we'll see what happens in a few days, if more things will be announced, leading into the big Saturday. By the way, Saturday, 8 o'clock, regular time for Dynamite, not 10 o'clock on Saturday, thank God. 8 o'clock on Saturday, so at least it's the same time, just a different day. I don't think that's an issue for me then. So I should be okay and not upset that it's at 10 o'clock on a Friday. So, definitely looking forward to Saturday. Hangman, Hangman and Hobbs should be fine. But Omega and Jungle Boy, give them 45 minutes and give the belt to Jungle Boy.
That's not
so that he can give it to Dino Daddy, and my life is complete.
And with that, that's going to about wrap things up here for the Four Post Massacre podcast. Another week gone by, and another week we were able to record. We're glad that you guys are still watching our stuff and are along with us for the ride, and we hope to continue making more of this as we progress. Even though I am starting to hate watching WWE related content more and more. The more we do
told
this.
You we should have never done it in the first place. But no, we gotta cater to the W people. So why? So they can listen to me, bitch?
Hey, that's how most people get most of their views nowadays. Well, they said...
I'm watching Raw. You're never gonna make me do it. I'm never gonna do it. I'm not doing it.
No, I wouldn't even subject myself to that kind of torture.
I'll watch the stupid pay-per-views. Like I said, I have high hopes for Money in the Bank.
Kofi and Bobby are main eventing.
And 2 ladder matches and a full crowd.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Please, Jesus, please. But I think that's it for us.
Yeah!
Here at the Four Posts, David Arquette is on the outside rooting on Jimmy King, just like you hopefully root us on.
Alright, I'm ending the show for Potfather, Adam Jackpot, and for me,
What?
Simply Zaya. We're going, bye!
Ricochet and Pants.
No!